Shastri class, online Bhakti Shastri class on behalf of 5. It is Unit 5, the last part of the Bhakti Shastri module. This is today we will be starting Ishopanishad. So today we will try to cover introduction and invocation. So before starting, let us do the Mangalacharan. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupam Kadamahyam Dadati Shapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Jutapadakamalam Shri Guru Vishnuvanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajata Shogana Raghunathannitam Sangshajivam Sadhuitam Savudhutam Purijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitam Devam Sri Radha Krishna Pada Shogana Lalita Sri Vishakha Shupadayo Krishna Prishtayo Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesho Shunnavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Chakalpataru Yascha Kripa Sindhu Evacha Patitana Pavanebho Vaishnavebho Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Ram Karati Vacharam Kurulakaya Yatipata Sri Guru Ram. Hare Krishna. So today we will start Ishopanishad. So the Ishopanishad, Srila Prabhupada has given an introduction. First of all, this Ishopanishad book is not a book that is written by Srila Prabhupada as a book form. It has been published as a book form from the various lecture and teachings and writings. It was actually some articles in the form of articles Srila Prabhupada published the purport of all the Ishopanishad slokas, the purports of the slokas, and the introduction was a lecture given in London. Okay. So, as a book, it is very interesting book and very important book because this Ishopanishad is very important because this is a purely Shruti. Shruti. What is Shruti? We will understand. What is Shastra? We will understand today little bit. And fortunately, there is a coincidence that the course that I have just now started, the MA of Srimad Bhagavatam, there also this aspect is discussed the last 4 days, Monday to Thursday, about about the Pramana Shastra. What is Pramana Shastra? What is Shastra? What is knowledge? What is the validation of this knowledge? That was discussed. So I will share something, just form of it, and what actually Srila Prabhupada was actually giving that same thing in the introduction. So it was, I can say, a very timely coincidence because I also did not have such clarity before attending these 4 classes. I had some understanding, but the clarity I got from the classes that is happening in the MA program It was
That is taken by ISKCON devotees or?
yes. Venugopal Prabhu is taking the first
Oh,
part.
okay, okay.
Venugopal Prabhu, I think you know, Dr. Venugopal Prabhu, who is
Yes,
a
I had
Bhakti.
attended one, like it was a very big course, so I dropped in between. So it was very detailed actually,
Yes,
Shabda and all those things.
yes. Pramana Shastra Pramanam is the part, is the course that he has already given, and that is only he is repeating here. And it is actually from Jiva Goswami's Tattva Sandarbha. It is coming from the Sangvadini Tika of Jiva Goswami's Tattva Sandarbha. So Venugopal Prabhu will be taking this first part, and the second part, the first canto, will be taken by. Fortunately, this was a fortunate arrangement by his grace Gaurang Prabhu. So we are really fortunate that Gaurang Prabhuji agreed, because even though his extremely busy schedule, he agreed to give the class, take the class. And so it was all the ISKCON devotees are only taking. And these are the main core Shastric subject. Then there are some Sanskrit subjects are there. That is taken a Sanskrit scholar who is actually from Sanskrit university, who is associated, is connected in some way with the Central Sanskrit University. So he's teaching the Sanskrit language, basic Sanskrit understanding, the basic Sanskrit literature, like that. So that are some papers are there. So that is taken by them. And there is NET exam paper is there. For the preparation of the NET exam, there is some compulsory paper included in the MA program. So that is taken by another Mataji. He is also ISKCON devotee. So from Pune only, he is taking. She is like that. Yes, someone can read from this introduction part.
Okay, Prabhu, I will read. Um, Teachings of the Vedas, delivered as a lecture by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada on October 6, 1969 at Conway Hall, London, England. Ladies and gentlemen, today's subject matter is the teachings of the Vedas. What are the Vedas? The Sanskrit verbal root of Veda can be interpreted variously, but the purport is finally one. Veda means knowledge. Any knowledge you accept is Veda, for the teachings of the Vedas are the original knowledge. In the conditioned state, our knowledge is subjected to many deficiencies. The difference between a conditioned soul and a liberated soul is that the conditioned soul has four kinds of defects. The first defect is that he must commit mistake. For example, in our country, Mahatma Gandhi was considered to be a very great personality, but he committed many mistakes. Even at the last stage of his life, his assistant warned Mahatma Gandhi don't go to New Delhi meeting. I have some new friends and I have heard there is danger. But he did not hear. He persisted in going and was killed. Even great personalities like Mahatma Gandhi, President Kennedy, there are so many of them, make mistakes. To err is human. This is one defect of the conditioned soul.
Thank you. Ma'am. So, first of all, we will try to understand why Prabhupada is introducing this topic, teachings of Vedas. So, show something. So, first of all, we need to understand one important thing, that what is Veda? I think in our school, I don't know now how it is. In our school, I read in Bengali medium school only. There, in history book, I first came to the word Veda in a history book. I think in the standard class 7 or 8, it was like. And in that book also it was written Veda means knowledge, or sometime it is written Veda means Shruti. These things I read. I think most of you were aware of it from the school level. We have heard something, we have read something about Veda. So now the point is, why this Veda is there? What is the meaning of knowledge? What is Veda? So for that, we need to understand the. First of all, anyone can share why Veda is required? Anyone would like to share? Or when you have heard about Veda, about this thing, Bangla, English, any language is welcome.
প্রভু, এটা শুনেছিলাম যে বুদ্ধি হচ্ছে গিয়ে গুরু শাস্ত্র আর গুরু শাস্ত্র আর মানে বুদ্ধি বলতে আমরা যেটা বুঝি, আমরা সেটা মানে লাইফে কিভাবে চলতে হবে সেটা টিউটোরিয়াল বেদাস।
আমি ওই বইতে পড়েছিলাম স্কুলে, ওই বেদ শুনে শুনে মনে রাখতে হতো। শ্রুতি 4 ধরনের বেদ হয়, ঋক্, যজু, অথর্ব। এটা ওই বইতেই পড়েছিলাম, ইতিহাস বইতে পড়েছি। আর তারপর তো
সেটা তো আমরা সকলে করেছিলাম।
হ্যাঁ,
Now, question হচ্ছে why Veda is required? What is the importance of Veda? Why Veda is required? মাতাজি যেটা বলছেন বুদ্ধি এটা কোথায় পড়েছেন শালী মাতাজি? আমি এটা বুঝতে পারলাম না। বুদ্ধি পড়েছেন না এটা যে কোনো?
প্রভু, ওই যে একটা অ্যানালজি ছিল না, যেখানে চ্যারিয়টের সাথে কম্পেয়ার করা হচ্ছিল, মন অতিক্রম করে
আচ্ছা,
বুদ্ধি।
হ্যাঁ, ওইটা হচ্ছে যে হাউ উই আর সিচুয়েটেড। আমাদের মন, বুদ্ধি, হ্যাঁ, আমাদের ইন্দ্রিয় থেকে শ্রেষ্ঠ হচ্ছে মন, মনের থেকে শ্রেষ্ঠ হচ্ছে বুদ্ধির থেকে শ্রেষ্ঠ হচ্ছে আত্মা। এটা বোঝা আমাকে। আপনি এটা বলতে চাইছেন তো?
হ্যাঁ, হ্যাঁ।
আচ্ছা,
সেটা তো
এটা কি চিন্ময় জগৎ থেকে এসছে? এটা বলতে পারি বেদের যে জ্ঞান, সেটা যেরকম ভাগবতম এসছিল, শ্রীকৃষ্ণের চিন্ময় জগৎ থেকে ব্রহ্মা তারপরে নারদকে
আপনি
দিয়েছিলেন।
যেটা বলছেন সোর্স, আমি
হ্যাঁ,
সোর্সের জায়গাতে পরে আসছি। আমি প্রথম জিজ্ঞেস করছি যে ওয়াই, কারণ।
আচ্ছা।
প্রভু, কারণ আমরা যে কোনো নলেজ মানে পাচ্ছি এই নিজের সারাউন্ডিং থেকে, সেটা হচ্ছে বেসড অন আওয়ার সেন্সেস। তো সেন্সেস গুলো হচ্ছে নট পারফেক্ট, তো তার জন্য সেখান থেকে যে নলেজ পাবো সেটাও ইমপারফেক্ট হবে।
না, ইমপারফেক্ট পারফেক্টটার জায়গায় আমি ঢুকছি না। আমি প্রথম বলছি নলেজ মানে কি, বা হোয়াট ইজ নলেজ, আর নলেজের হোয়াই নলেজ ইজ রিকোয়ার্ড।
আচ্ছা আচ্ছা।
I am first asking about the very basic thing. What is knowledge or why knowledge is required? জ্ঞান কাকে বলে, আর জ্ঞান কেন দরকার? আমরা কোথাও পড়েছি, ভক্তি শাস্ত্রীতে পড়েছি, জ্ঞান নিয়ে আলোচনা হয়েছে কোথাও?
যেরকম জ্ঞান হচ্ছে যেটা মানে আমাদের it makes us aware of who we are, what is the difference between
এটা ঠিক ভক্তি শাস্ত্রী স্টুডেন্টের মতন অ্যান্সার হচ্ছে, যেটা বলছেন মানে হচ্ছে অ্যান্সার। এটা ভক্তি
শোনা, মানে শোনা আর কি, কখনো এদিক ওদিক।
মনে হচ্ছে আমরা খুব তাড়াহুড়া করে ভক্তি শাস্ত্রীটা করছি বলে ভক্তি শাস্ত্রী জিনিসটা ডাইজেস্ট হয়নি মনে হচ্ছে। তা আমাদেরও প্রথম যখন এটা ফার্স্ট ক্লাসে এটাই আলোচনা হচ্ছিল, হোয়াট ইজ নলেজ। তো বেশিরভাগ যারা আমরা স্টুডেন্ট ছিলাম, বেশিরভাগ আমরা ভগবত গীতা থেকে অন্তত বলার চেষ্টা করছিলাম বাট হি ওয়াজ গোয়িং ফার্দার বেসিক লেভেল। ভগবদ্গীতাতে আমরা পড়েছি এবং আমি মনে হয় আমি ওই মডিউলটা নেইনি। মডিউলটা নেওয়ার কথা ছিল আমার। আমি নেই। কোন মডিউলে পড়েছি আমি? প্লিজ। চ্যাপ্টার 13।
থার্ড
মানে
মডিউল,
আরো
থার্ড।
বেসিক দেখতে গেলে মানে নলেজ মানে আমরা নিজের সারাউন্ডিং এর জিনিসগুলোকে জানছি, চিনছি আর কি।
কেন?
মানে মানে যেরকম
কেন? আমার
এটা
কেন?
মানে যেরকম চোখের থ্রু আমরা দেখছি যে এটা চেয়ার, এটা টেবিল।
কেন? কেন? আমার প্রশ্নটা হচ্ছে সেটা হচ্ছে কেন? ফার্স্ট অফ অল কেন? কৃষ্ণ কিছু আলোচনা আমাদের ভগবানের কাছ থেকে কিছু জানতে পেরেছি। 13 চ্যাপ্টার একদম 13 চ্যাপ্টারের পুরোটাই ওয়াশড আউট হয়ে যাচ্ছে। 13 চ্যাপ্টার ইজ এ ডিফিকাল্ট চ্যাপ্টার। আমি জানি ওয়ান অফ দ্য ডিফিকাল্ট চ্যাপ্টার ইন এন্টায়ার ভগবত গীতা। ইট ইজ আনলাকি 13 বাট ইট ওয়াজ 13 চ্যাপ্টার ইজ ডিফিকাল্ট। 13 নম্বর অধ্যায়ে ভগবান কে অর্জুন জ্ঞানম অধিষ্ঠানম কর্ম জিজ্ঞেস করছে,
গেয়ম। হ্যাঁ।
জ্ঞেয়ম জিজ্ঞেস করেছে। তো অ্যাকচুয়ালি ভগবদ্গীতাতে ভগবান জ্ঞান দিচ্ছে এবং 13 নম্বর অধ্যায়ের 8 নম্বর শ্লোক থেকে 13 নম্বর শ্লোকে ভগবান হোয়াট ইজ নলেজ সেটা ব্যাখ্যা করছে। এটা অলরেডি আপনারা প্রশ্ন হয়তো পড়ে তৈরি করেছেন, লিখেছেন, পরীক্ষার খাতাতে লিখেও এসেছে। আই এম শিওর এই প্রশ্নটা আসেই আসে। যেটা শুরু হচ্ছে, আমি শ্লোকটা পুরোপুরি আমার এখন পুরো মনে নেই, বড় শ্লোক ওটা হচ্ছে, যেখানে জন্ম মৃত্যু জরা ব্যাধি দুঃখ দোষানুদর্শনম আছে। শ্লোকটা শুরু হচ্ছে আহ, অমানিত্যম অধম অমানিত্যম অধম বিহিতম, এই যে শুরু হচ্ছে বিনম্রতা, অহংকারহীনতা, জন্ম মৃত্যু জরা ব্যাধি দুঃখ দোষানুদর্শনম। এখানে এই যা কিছু ভগবান বলছেন, এই যা কিছু এগুলো হচ্ছে জ্ঞান, আর এর বাইরে যা কিছু সবই অজ্ঞান। মনে পড়ছে? এবার কিছুটা মনে পড়ছে। এবার কথা হচ্ছে কেন এগুলো ভগবান বললেন? ভগবানের হাতে সময় বেশি ছিল না অর্জুনকে বোঝানোর জন্য? কেন বললেন? আমি এম এ ক্লাস থেকে কিছু নিয়ে এসে এখনো কিছু বলা শুরু করিনি। আমি যেটা আপনাদের পড়েছেন তার থেকেই বলছি। এম এ দেখা যায় আমি ছোট্ট কাজ করবো একটু। আমি সেটা দেখাবো। ইটস ভেরি সিম্পল। আপনারা জানেন। মানে ইট ইজ নট ভেরি ডিফিকাল্ট থিং টু আন্ডারস্ট্যান্ড। শুধু আমি একটুখানি ভাবাচ্ছি বিকজ দিস Ishopanishad is a knowledge from directly coming from Shruti. It is not a written, concocted knowledge by any human being, mortals, কোনো সাধারণ মানুষের দেওয়া কোনো জ্ঞান নয়। এই জ্ঞানটা কেন দরকার হচ্ছে?
প্রভু যেন মানে 13 চ্যাপ্টারের উপরে তো জিনিসটা হচ্ছে যে এনিথিং দ্যাট লিডস আস টুয়ার্ডস সেলফ রিয়েলাইজেশন দ্যাট ইজ নলেজ। দ্য
ভগবানকে জানা,
কোয়ালিটিজ অ্যান্ড
কৃষ্ণকে
কোয়ালিটিজ
জানা,
অ্যান্ড
আমরা যাই
প্রসেস।
করছি না কেন।
এবার কিছুটা আস্তে আস্তে অ্যান্সার গুলো আসছে, কিছুটা আসছে answer।
হ্যাঁ, যে ভগবানকে জানা এবং আমি কি, আমার সাথে ভগবানের কি সম্পর্ক,
হ্যাঁ,
এইটাই তো
ওটা আপনি কি
জানার
বলতে
উদ্দেশ্য।
চাচ্ছিলেন? যা কিছু করি না কেন, কি এটা বলতে চাচ্ছেন?
হ্যাঁ, যে আমরা যাই করি, যেই জ্ঞানই লাভ করি না কেন, প্রত্যেকটা এটাই গীতাতেই পড়েছিলাম যে সবকিছুর উদ্দেশ্য হচ্ছে ভগবানকে জানা, শ্রীকৃষ্ণকে জানা। তাহলে বৈদিক জ্ঞান লাভের, আমাদের এই জ্ঞান লাভে আমরা যে মানব
এক্স্যাক্টলি,
দেহটা পেয়েছি, এটা
এক্স্যাক্টলি।
নিয়ে আমরা কি করব বা কিভাবে আমরা ভগবানের সেবায় সেটা লাগাতে পারি বা ভগবানকে কি করে জানবো, সেটাই আমাদের উদ্দেশ্য।
যেরকম ওই বেদেশ সর্বৈ রহম্যম যে
এবার এখন জিনিসগুলো আস্তে আস্তে আসছে। 13 নম্বর থেকে 18 নম্বর পুরো অধ্যায়টাকে কি বলা হয়? 13 থেকে
জ্ঞান
18
যোগ,
জ্ঞান যোগের সেকশন। ইট ইজ এ জ্ঞান যোগ
জ্ঞান
আছে।
যোগ,
জ্ঞান আছে
কর্মযোগ, ভক্তিযোগ, জ্ঞান যোগ।
ভক্তি যোগটা মডিউল 2,
মডেল
মডিউল 1।
মাঝখানে, হ্যাঁ, 6 থেকে 12,
তাহলে
13 থেকে
ওখানে
18।
জ্ঞান নিয়ে অনেক কিছু জ্ঞান দিয়েছেন ভগবান। ঠিক আছে? তো এইবার সেটা আমাদের মনে রাখতে হবে। ঠিক আছে? এবং এবং আল্টিমেটলি আজকে আমরা এটাই শুধু জানবো, এই যে লাস্ট লাস্ট লাইনটা হচ্ছে এটা যেটা আপনারা বললেন, বেদস্য সর্বের অহমবেদ্য, বেদ্য অহমেয় বেদ্য। ওই শ্লোকটাতেই ভগবান বলছে। ওই শ্লোকটা পুরোটা বেদস্য সর্বের অহময় বেদ্য, এটা হচ্ছে লাস্ট
বেদান্ত
লাইনটা।
বেদান্ত
বেদান্ত ক্রি, আমি
বি-
আই
হ্যাঁ,
এম দ্য রাইটার
I am the
রাইটার সেখানে কিন্তু অনেক
I am
পুরো
the knower.
জিনিসটা আই এম দ্য নোয়ার, আই এম দ্য রাইটার, আই এম টু বি নোন। ওকে, তো এখান থেকে শুরু হচ্ছে আমাদের। তার মানেটা হচ্ছে যে এটা হচ্ছে এই যে জ্ঞানের কথা বললাম, এটা হচ্ছে হাইয়েস্ট জ্ঞান, এটা হচ্ছে পারমার্থিক জ্ঞান। বাট আমাকে মশা কামড়াচ্ছে, আমার হাতে মশা কামড়াচ্ছে, আমাকে কিছু একটা করতে হবে, এটা আমি কোত্থেকে পাচ্ছি? এটা ভগবদ্গীতা দিয়েছে ভগবান। মশা আমাকে কামড়াচ্ছে, আমি সঙ্গে সঙ্গে কিছু একটা করছি তো, এটা আমি কোত্থেকে পাচ্ছি? একটা শিশুও জানে কি করতে হয়, আমরাও জানি কি করতে হয়। তো দ্যাট মিন বলা হচ্ছে যে কোনো যা কিছু আমরা করি, যা কিছু আমরা ঠিক ভুলটা পরে, আমরা যা কিছু করি তার প্রথম অনুপ্রেরণা বা প্রথম যে কারণে করতে পারে, সেই কারণটাকে বলা হচ্ছে জ্ঞান। মূল যে কারণটা, সেটা হচ্ছে জ্ঞান। ঠিক আছে, বল না জ্ঞান পাপী, জ্ঞানের সঙ্গে পাপ করছে, জ্ঞান আছে তারপরেও পাপ করছে। তো দ্যাট মিনস এটা একটা, জাস্ট আমি হালকা করে একটুখানি বলছি ডেফিনেশন। সেটা হচ্ছে যে বলা হচ্ছে উম, সর্বব্যবহার সর্বব্যবহার হেতু জ্ঞান, সর্বব্যবহার হেতু জ্ঞান। এনি ব্যবহার, এনি ডিলিংস, এনি অ্যাক্টিভিটি, এনি অ্যাকশন, তার যে হেতু, the hetu of that, the cause of that sarva vyavahara is called jnana. Anything. So don't need to, no need to crack your brains to go deep into it. Just simple thing. Whatever we are doing, anything, whatever anyone, anything is happening, doing based on some jnana, and that jnana can be correct jnana, and that can be imperfect jnana or perfect. So the jnana is two types: jathartha jnana and ajathartha jnana. And so that is the difference. So now I will show a slide from where there's a summary of this chapter. So descent of truth, mapping the journey from flawed perception to ultimate realization. Okay. So, and culmination in the architecture of Vedic epistemology. So, this Vedic epistemology is the first thing that a student of Veda should learn. And today, this introduction is dedicated to this Vedic epistemology. Vedic epistemology means what? Let us see this Vedic epistemology. See, validity of the means of knowledge and the validity of the knowledge. First of all, we define knowledge. Okay? Knowledge is clear. Knowledge is sarva vyavahar hetu jnanam. Anything we are doing, that is the cause of that is called knowledge. Now, knowledge, the Sanskrit meaning of knowledge is proma. Okay? The knowledge. This is the pen. When in front of us, anybody is showing a pen and is saying that this is a pen, and I am understanding this is a pen. When I was a child, when we were a child, someone shows this is called a pen. Okay, most of you have a experience or understanding or learning experience that in our childhood we have been taught in the classroom. What are the things you are seeing? This is a blackboard, this is bench, this is teacher, this is student, this is light, this is fan, this is window, this is door. They have given this knowledge. And how we acquired that knowledge? How we acquired that knowledge? By our senses, eyes and ear. By eyes we have seen, ears we have heard. By that we have learned this knowledge. Clear? So this knowledge is called proma, and the means of knowledge. Means of knowledge is I is the means by which I am understanding. I and here you can say by I am seeing, and here I am hearing. First of all, this I is there. Without I cannot understand that this is the pen, this particular object which looks like this. This is the pen. This I can understand only by eyes. Okay. When I am showing that this is a pen, someone need to understand that this is a pen. Okay. So this pen, I am seeing this is a pen. So this is the pen is the object, and this is the pen, this is the knowledge. Okay. And by I am seeing this is a pen. So I is the means of knowledge. By this I am আন্ডারস্ট্যান্ডিং। এই চোখের মাধ্যমে আমি এই বস্তুটাকে একটি পেন হিসেবে বুঝতে পারছি। এই বুঝতে পারছি এই যে পুরো বিষয়টা যে এই বস্তুটিকে একটি পেন বলে, এটাকে বলা হচ্ছে জ্ঞান। ঠিক আছে? এইটাকে বলা হচ্ছে জ্ঞান। আর এই জ্ঞানের সংস্কৃত বা অ্যাকচুয়াল মানে বৈদিক টার্মিনোলজি হচ্ছে প্রমা। প্রমাণম কাকে বলছি আমি? চোখের মাধ্যমে, বাই দ্য মিনস অফ দ্য নলেজ ইজ দ্য প্রমাণম, যার মাধ্যমে আমি জানতে পারছি যে এটা একটি পেন। ওকে, এটা ক্লিয়ার হলো? এই দুটো জিনিস আমি বললাম, আমি কিন্তু আর কিছু বেশি কিছু বলিনি। ঠিক আছে? প্রমাণম কাকে বলা হচ্ছে? প্রমাণম হচ্ছে যার মাধ্যমে আমি নলেজটা পাচ্ছি, সেটাকে বলছি আমি প্রমাণম। আর নলেজটা হচ্ছে প্রমা। আর যে নলেজটা পাচ্ছে তাকে বলা হচ্ছে প্রমাতা। সেটা এখন মনে না রাখলেও চলবে। ওকে, নোয়ার, লার্নার, নোয়ার, এখানে বলা হচ্ছে নোয়ার। জ্ঞানের দিক থেকে বলা হচ্ছে যে জানছে কোনো একটা। ক্লিয়ার? এটুকু অব্দি ক্লিয়ার? তো এই যে this is called, this is this two thing. First of all, the validity. Now the validity of the means of knowledge and the validity of the knowledge, this is called epistemology. Something I am saying is the truth. We are saying that Veda is the truth. From the Veda we are getting true knowledge. Okay, so how that is? What is the validity of the Veda? So all these things is discussed in a subject called epistemology. Okay, that is called this Pramanam and Pramana Shastra. Shastra Pramanam is called epistemology. And what is Promeum? The object of the knowledge is the pen. Okay, so the subject which the philosophical discipline which deals with this Promeum, that is called ontology. Okay, that is called ontology. So these are the two division mainly based on which the knowledge expanded and the validation. That's why Jiva Goswami has first established the epistemological basis for the Sandarbhas by Tattva Sandarbha. And then he has explained the truth. So I am telling that Krishnastu Bhagavan Shayam. This is a statement. Krishnastu Bhagavan Shayam. Okay. Now Krishnastu Bhagavan Shayam. This is a statement. Now in here, what is Pramanam? What is Prama and what is Pramam? Can anyone say? কৃষ্ণস্তু, কৃষ্ণ হচ্ছেন পরমেশ্বর ভগবান।
এখানে প্রভু প্রমেয়মটা হচ্ছে কৃষ্ণ, মানে অবজেক্ট অফ নলেজ।
Stop. হ্যাঁ, ওকে। Someone else, Proma, and Pramanam. What is Prama? What is the knowledge? Jnanটা কি? Pramaটা কি? What is Prama? And what is the means of this knowledge? কিসের মাধ্যমে আমি জানতে পারছি কৃষ্ণস্তু ভগবান স্বয়ং?
প্রমাণম হচ্ছে প্রভু শাস্ত্র।
শাস্ত্র। Very good. Shastra. Which Shastra? What is the name? Where it is coming? Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam statement?
শ্রীমদ্ ভাগবতম।
শ্রীমদ্ ভাগবতম।
Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay. So Srimad Bhagavatam is the Pramanam. Shastra. It is a Shastra.
মানে যেটা চোখের সাথে তুলনা করা হচ্ছিল,
Exactly.
চোখটা এখানে হচ্ছে শ্রীমদ্ ভাগবতম,
Shastra. Shastra চক্ষু।
আর অবজেক্টটা হচ্ছে এখানে কৃষ্ণ,
Krishna. আর
আর
knowledge
তারপরে
হচ্ছে
হচ্ছে
knowledge
ভগবান,
entire
তিনিই
statement.
একমাত্র ভগবান।
কৃষ্ণস্তু ভগবান স্বয়ং, কৃষ্ণই হচ্ছেন স্বয়ং ভগবান, এই যে স্টেটমেন্টটা এটা হচ্ছে প্রমা। ওকে, and this statement is the basic statement of the entire Bhagavatam. This is Nirnayak, this is Paribhashika Sutra of the entire Bhagavatam. Okay, among 18,000 sloka, this is the Nirnayak sloka. So that is different. So this is the conclusion. So now, so these two things, Proma and Pramanam, is discussed in epistemology, and ontology is about Krishna. Who is Krishna? Who Krishna's father and mother, Krishna's energy, Krishna's expansion, Krishna's many things. Elaborately is a promeum. This discussion happen in ontological discussion. Epistemological discussion means just the validation. Now, why epistemology we are studying? We are studying because why the Veda, why Prabhupada is giving this introduction, why Prabhupada is giving even this Ishopanishad. Because in the Ishopanishad, about Krishna, nothing is there. Very less things are there. Something will be there. But the introduction part, first, introduction is the epistemology. Prabhupada is giving the Vedic validation. Why Veda is validated knowledge? Why we should take shelter of Veda? Because Veda is giving a validated knowledge, is a truth. প্রামাণিক শাস্ত্র, শাস্ত্র প্রমাণ, কৃষ্ণকে আমরা ভগবান মানছি। আজকে প্রভুপাদ একজন এসে হঠাৎ করে এসে বলতে শুরু করলেন বলে মানছি তা নয়। প্রভুপাদ হ্যাজ গিভেন দিস, প্রভুপাদ হ্যাজ গিভেন দিস বেসিস। এই বেসিসটা হচ্ছে শাস্ত্র প্রমাণ। So this is called epistemological basis. So without that, this entire Krishna consciousness has a very firm epistemological foundation, and we are grateful for this to Srila Jiva Goswami. Jiva Goswami has done a very, very elaborate work on this epistemological part. Okay. Other Goswamis are mainly worked on the ontological part, but Jiva Goswami has given this epistemological part, and this is very, from based on this, we can actually defeat all sorts of Mayavadi conclusions and many things. Because this Bhagavatam, finally, these through epistemological analysis, Jiva Goswami, what Jiva Goswami has done finally? Jiva Goswami has done this simple thing that Srimad Bhagavatam is Amala Pramanam. Amala Pramanam. Just again, I am coming to this word Pramanam. Okay. Okay. Prema Pumartha Mahan Srimad Bhagavatam Amala Pramanam. This is the 5 teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Among this, the one thing is Srimad Bhagavatam is the Amala Praman. So why Amala Praman? Why this is validated? So this is established. Sorry?
প্রভু অন্টোলজিতে হচ্ছে ওই মানে অবজেক্ট অবজেক্ট অফ নলেজ।
অবজেক্টকে নিয়ে ডিটেল আলোচনা হবে, অবজেক্টের সম্বন্ধে। অবজেক্ট আমি জেনে গেলাম আগে, হোয়াট ইজ দ্য অবজেক্ট? পেন। এরপরে আমি পেন নিয়ে আলোচনা করছি, পেনের ভেতরে কালি আছে, পেনের ভেতরে পেনটা খুললে আমি একটা রিফিল পাবো, পেনের মধ্যে এই আছে, পেনটা দেখতে এরকম, এই ডিসকাশনটা চলছে। এটাকে যে পেন বলে, আগে তো আমাকে এটা জানতে হবে দিস ইজ পেন।
মানে ওই অবজেক্টটা এস্টাবলিশ করা, যেরকম আমরা ভগবত গীতা এগুলোতে মানে অ্যাজাম্পশনই হচ্ছে যে কৃষ্ণা হচ্ছে অবজেক্ট, কিন্তু ওই অবজেক্টটা এস্টাবলিশ করছে জীব গোস্বামী।
হ্যাঁ, মানে এই যে অবজেক্টটা যে কৃষ্ণ, ভগবত গীতা যে একটা ভ্যালিড শাস্ত্র,
আচ্ছা আচ্ছা।
ভাগবতম যে একটা ভ্যালিড শাস্ত্র, আমি যে প্রমাণমটা, প্রমাণম ইজ ভ্যালিডেশন অফ দ্য প্রমাণম, validation of the Vedic knowledge. Why Vedic knowledge is Pramana? I will show you two videos today. Actually. At the last end. From that we can understand that knowledge. What is the meaning of the knowledge? Why Bhagavatam is Pramana? Now I will come to that point. The validation. Is it clear? The importance should be clear. Okay, the detailed understanding and detailed study is a different. They are different thing. Later on you can do it, but just know that this is why Prabhupada is giving this thing. Why in this particular section this thing is given? Why not in other book? Because this is the basis of Shruti. But what is the validation of Shruti? Why we should accept Shruti? Why we should accept Veda? So that is elaborately described. That elaboration we will not go. We'll just whatever Prabhupada is saying, we'll be limited our discussion into that only. Just I'm giving a basis. So up to this it is clear.
Yes, Prabhu.
Now I will move little fast. Okay. So now defect. Okay. What is defect? Defect means as already you have already told that there are if we acquire knowledge through, let us come to this thing. Yes. So the epistemological truth can be the epistemology of the truth. That means from where we can get knowledge. Basically there are broad divisions of this knowledge is two kinds of smriti and anubhav. Okay, smriti is something. See where the smriti is working. When I am saying this is a pen, you have understood this is what I am saying. Okay, what I am saying this is আমি বলছি এটা একটা পেন। এই যে আমি বলছি এটা একটা পেন আর আপনারা বুঝছেন, কি করে বুঝছেন? তার কারণ আপনারা আমার ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজটা বুঝতে পারছেন। কি করে বুঝতে পারছেন? আপনারা ছোটবেলায় এই যে দিস ইজ আ পেন, এই অবজেক্ট গুলো, এই ওয়ার্ড গুলো সম্বন্ধে আপনারা জানেন। আপনাদের ব্রেনে সেই স্মৃতিটা আছে, সেই মেমোরিটা আছে। আপনারা একসময় পড়েছিলেন। ছোটবেলায় একটা শিশুকে, আজকে একটা ছদ্মজাত শিশুকে যদি দেখিয়ে বলা হয় যে দিস ইজ এ পেন, সে কিন্তু সঙ্গে সঙ্গে বুঝতে পারবে না যে কি বলতে চাইছে, কিন্তু কয়েকবার দেখালে সে বুঝতে পারবে। ঠিক আছে, যখন সে তাও একদম একদম জন্মানোর মুহূর্তে যদি কাউকে দেখানো কিছু বুঝতে পারবে, কারণ তখন সেই বোঝার ক্ষমতাটাই আসে। কিন্তু যখন তার বোঝার ক্ষমতাটা আসছে, এই যে বোঝার ক্ষমতাটা আসছে মানে কি, জ্ঞান রিসিভ করার তার আগে পর্যন্ত মানে হি অর শি ইজ লাইক এ অলমোস্ট লাইক এ ভেরি মাচ ডাল, বিকজ তখন তার কিছুই বিকাশ ঘটেনি, তার বুদ্ধিমত্তা, তার জ্ঞানেন্দ্রিয়গুলোরই বিকাশ ঘটেনি। সে জ্ঞানেন্দ্রিয়গুলোকে নেবে কি করে? তো এগুলো দ্যাট ইজ এ ভেরিয়াস প্রসেস। একটা সোল কি করে জ্ঞান নিচ্ছে, ইফ ইউ ওয়ান্ট, মানে আজকে আমাদের সময় টাইমের অভাব, না হলে আই ক্যান গো ইনটু লিটল ডিপ টু শো। ইট উইল ভেরি ইন্টারেস্টিং জাস্ট টু হ্যাভ সাম বেসিস, and everything is known. It is not that you don't know, it is known, but just to connect the links. So pratyaksha, so what is happening, so we are taking knowledge, so we have a smriti, based on that we are understanding, and then we are anubhav, then we are experiencing, oh this is a pen. So now next time anyone is showing, I'll say this is a pen. Yes, please bring the pen. Pen is in the drawer. So I will open the drawer. I can easily identify the object as a pen and I can bring and give it. So this apparently it appears to be a very simple thing, but it is not a simple thing. Behind this, the epistemological process is working in our consciousness. Okay. So I will not go into the detail of the breakdown of this process. So the main thing is the entire truth. There are actually Jiva Goswami has given 10 kinds of truth, 10th kind of pramanam. Okay, 10th kind of pramanam. And finally, it has been boils down to these three kind of pramanam. Pratyaksha, Anumana, and Shabda. Okay. According to Tattva Sandarbha, it is 10 kinds. In Bhagavatam also, somewhere it is given given 4 kinds. Okay, Bhagavatam, there is a sloka in 11th canto, it is given 4. But in that 4 can be also boiled down to 3. So this is Pratyaksha, Anumana, and Shabda. The Pratyaksha means direct perception. Okay. So in the direct perception means I am seeing something and I am perceiving it. Based on that, my perception, I am understanding this is what this is. That is all Pratyaksha. I am seeing a sun, but by seeing the sun, I am concluding that it is merely a glowing disk, nothing else. So this is not a perfect knowledge. The imperfection is coming from the 4 defects that I am coming to later. So in the Pratyaksha, why this flaw is coming? Why I am not actually understanding? Because I have 4 defects. Now the defect is with whom? Defect is with the knower. Okay. The living entity is perceiving the knowledge, particularly the embodied living entity. The conditioned soul is having this defect, this 4 defects. Due to that defects, he is perceiving his perception. His perception is defective. And that's why anything depends on the perception is having a defective understanding, defective knowledge. So defective conclusion. Okay. So by relying only on our own senses, we will not get the perfect knowledge. Similarly, the Anuman. Anuman is what? Something like I am seeing. But that does not mean that always the Pratyaksha will be flawed. Sometimes Pratyaksha is correct. Suppose I am seeing this fan is rotating. I can say the fan is rotating. This seeing is not a problem. Okay. I can understand that. Anuman also like that. Anuman is like hypothesis or something like when I am seeing uh, cloud, when I'm seeing some smoke, I'm seeing from a distant place that on the top of the hill there is some smoke is there. So I can conclude that there is a fire. It can be true or it cannot or it may not be true. Why it may not be true? Because the smoke that I am seeing, it may not be smoke, it may be cloud. And for the cloud to be there, it may not be the fire is the reason. Okay, so fire can be there, may not be there. So this is Anuman. So this Pratyaksha and Anumana will not always give me the correct knowledge because Pramata, the knower, it is polluted by the Pramatas. It is Pramatas 4 defects. What are the 4 defects? Let us see. These are the 4 defects. What is the 4 defects? This is called Pramada, Brahma, Vipralipsha, and Karanapata. Pramada means Chitta Bhikhyap. Pramada means inattention of the Chitta. Inattention of the Chitta means I am inattentive. And due to that Pramada, we are committing some mistakes. Chitta Bhikhyap means inattention of the Chitta means I am not understanding the reality as it is. Okay, and that's why I am committing some mistakes. Actually, the Sanskrit word is not committing mistake, but pramada. But out of pramada, we are committing mistake. And that is like something like out of pramada. Pramada is also one nam aparat. Okay, due to the pramada, due to the inattentiveness, we are committing nam offense, the offense to the holy name. Similarly, due to R is human. Why to R is human? Because our chitta, because this here comes the role of chitta. Chitta is a is a normally this is chitta is not, chitta word is not described very frequently. It is elaborated in third canto. So normally we know the antakaran means man buddhi ahankar. But apart from man buddhi ahankar, chitta is also there. The soul is there. After the soul, there is soul is covered with avidya, and then there is a chitta, avidya, and the false ego is there, and then the chitta, and then the buddhi, and then the man, then the indriyas are there. So the information that is coming from to the indriya, and finally the impression is coming to the chitta. Okay. When the chitta is connected to actually many things. I'm not going to the elaboration of that. Chitta is a subtle element. Chitta is a subtle element, material element. It is obviously a material element. It can be compared as a something like sometimes chitta is synonymously used for mind also. Okay, but chitta has a different understanding. So that is a committing mistake, and then the illusion. Illusion is something I am seeing, and I am seeing a rope. I am seeing a rope, but I am thinking it is a snake. Okay, I am seeing snakeness in the rope. Okay, I am seeing snakeness. Sharpe, is that called Sanskrit? Rajju, huh? Rajjute Sharpa Buddhi, Sharpa Gyan. In the Rajju, it is a Rajju. It is a merely a rope. But in that rope, I am seeing Sharpa. Okay, so this is illusion. It's accepting something which is not. The fundamental illusion is accepting the temporary physical body as eternal self. Okay. So here, actually, the examples are given from the Prabhupada example, whatever is given in the introduction. Prabhupada is given Mahatma Gandhi's introduction. Mahatma Gandhi's committing mistake. What mistake? Prabhupada has actually written a letter to Mahatma Gandhi when we got independent, that now you are a very famous figure. You have contributed so much for the Indian independence. Please join now. Now India is freedom. Your mission is established. Now you join our Vaishnava community and you preach Krishna consciousness. But we don't know whether that letter has reached to Mahatma Gandhi or not. But we know the history. Mahatma Gandhi was killed because at that time there were many decisions Mahatma Gandhi was taking, which were not with those decisions. Both the Hindus and Muslims both were not very much happy. There were some backlash, political backlash, and how he was killed. So the point is same thing happened with John Kennedy, with Martin Luther King. Why these were things are happening? They have tried. They have given their whole life and soul for the benefit of the. But why this was happening? Why they were killed finally? Can anyone say why they were killed? Why they were killed?
Prabhu,
Then
because they could not satisfy the senses of everyone. Like,
exactly why they were not able to satisfy the senses of everyone? Because they were all trying to do trying to do beneficial work, right? Trying to satisfy the people on a material platform, and that is not possible. That is not possible. Only on spiritual platform someone can be satisfied. So in material platform, whatever we do, we will not able to satisfy everyone, and we will also not be satisfied, and our life will be doomed most of the cases. So that is the point, that they were committing mistake. They were working only on the material platform. Okay. Maya or illusion. Brahma. It is called Brahma actually in Sanskrit. So this Brahma is an illusion that I was already explained, that we are thinking, seeing snakeness in the rope. Sharpe, Rojjute Sharpo Buddhi, Sharpo Can. So similarly, Prabhupada is giving example that we are seeing this body, physical body, and thinking this is me. Though it is not me. This is only my body. So this is a Brahma or illusion. Imperfect senses or Karanapataha is the defective senses. We have some limitation with our senses. Our senses are not perfect. If something we keep in the front of our eyes, very close to our eyes, we cannot see. If we keep very far, we cannot see. Okay, so we have a limitation. So many examples are there for the imperfect sense. Okay. And cheating propensity means viprolipsha. Viprolipsha means we know something is not true, but we are advocating this as it, posing as an authority or theorizer despite being inherently defective, writing books of philosophy without even knowing one's own actual position. So we don't know who we are, but we are giving big theory, we are giving big philosophy, big ism without knowing anything. So this is the cheating propensity. We don't have the knowledge. We are not qualified to become a teacher, but we are becoming a teacher. So we are actually becoming a cheater. So that is the point. So with these defects, these are the 4 defects which conditioned soul has. Okay. And that's why the knowledge that they are acquiring, depending on the senses, are imperfect. Is that clear? So this pratyaksha and anuman is based on our defective senses. So based on our defects. Now Shabda Praman is what? Shabda Praman is perfect. Now try to understand why Shabda Praman is perfect. Why we are receiving this knowledge from the authoritative source. Prabhupada is giving an example that from the radio station we are receiving this knowledge. Okay, so it is a perfect from a bona fide person. So suppose Prabhupada is giving many examples, like mother is there, from the mother only we came to know who is our father. Okay, so this is a praman. The mother authority is a valid authority, and we are taking that whatever she is telling. This is the truth. So now tell me why Shabda Pramana is a perfect Pramana. Why Shabda Pramana is a perfect Pramana? Quickly, time is less.
Prabhu, because it does not have the 4 defects.
It does not mean Shabda Pramana does not have the 4 defects.
Yes, Prabhu.
Anyone else want to? Everyone is saying whatever Rajprabhu is telling is correct. I've understood. What Rajprabhu is telling it is correct. Rajprabhu is saying that the Shabda Pramana does not have the 4 defects. That's why Shabda Pramana is a perfect Pramana. Everyone agree? Yes or no? Something you should say. Correct. I don't know whether you are there or not, or understanding or not. See, the point is, this is true. Shabda Pramana is not having this 4th defect. But the point is, try to understand, it is not the Pramana is having some defect. See, when I am seeing the sun, okay, the sun is not having any problem. Problem is our perception is having the problem. Okay, the sun is sun, but I am acquiring this knowledge through my eye. My eye is having limitation. That's why I am perceiving sun as a disk. On the top of the hill, I am seeing something cloudy, smoky. The phenomena is correct. Some phenomena is happening there. Either fire is burning or the cloud is forming, something is happening. My perception is something, I am perceiving something different because my perception and my anumana is not perfect based on that perception. Okay. So the phenomena is perfect. Similarly, Shabda, why Shabda Pramana is perfect? Because Shabda Pramana is not depend on the Pramata's four defects. Okay, it is not depend on the knower's four defect. It is free from knower four defects. Knower, the knowledge, আমি জ্ঞান অর্জন করতে চাইছি, আমার উপরে ডিপেন্ডেন্ট নয়। আমি বললাম সূর্য পূর্ব দিকে ওঠে, এই স্টেটমেন্টটা এই স্টেটমেন্টটাতে এই স্টেটমেন্টটাতে এই স্টেটমেন্টটা ঠিক কি ভুল হয় সেটা পরে বলছি। যে এই স্টেটমেন্টটা আমাকে কেউ বললো শব্দ প্রমাণ মানে হচ্ছে কোনো কেউ একজন বলছে আমাকে, সামওয়ান ইজ টেলিং, একটা সেন্টেন্স। এই সেন্টেন্সটার ক্ষেত্রে সেন্টেন্সটা আমি শুনলাম, এই সেন্টেন্সটার ক্ষেত্রে আমার ফোর ডিফেক্টের কোনো প্রভাব নেই। তার কারণ সেন্টেন্সটা ইজ এ সেন্টেন্স। এই সেন্টেন্সটা একটা সেন্টেন্স, যেই সেন্টেন্সটা আমি জাস্ট শুনছি, শুনে আমি নলেজ পাচ্ছি, দ্যাটস ইট। এখানে আমার দেখা, আমার কোনো ইন্দ্রিয়, হ্যাঁ আমি যদি কানে শুনতে না পাই, দ্যাট ইজ এ ডিফারেন্ট থিং। আই এম আন্ডারস্ট্যান্ডিং দ্যাট আমি শুনতে পাচ্ছি, তো আমি দেখতে পাচ্ছি না, শুনতে পাচ্ছি না, কিছু একটা আমি দেখতে পাচ্ছি, কোনোভাবে আমি এই ইনফরমেশনটা আমি পেলাম। ইনফরমেশনটা পেয়ে যাওয়ার মানে হচ্ছে এই ইনফরমেশনটার ওপরে আমার চারটে ডিফেক্ট যেটা আমি আলোচনা করলাম এত, সেটার কোনো প্রভাব আছে? ইজ দ্যার এনি ইনফ্লুয়েন্স, ইজ দ্যার এনি ডিপেন্ডেন্সি, কোনো নির্ভরতা আছে? আমি বুঝতে পারছি?
তো যখন মানে যদি এই এই লাইনে ভাবছি যে যেরকম আপনি প্রথমে ইউ মেনশন দ্যাট দিস ইজ আ পেন, নাও when you say that we are able to understand it because from our memory we are bringing back that this is a
We know
pen.
the language, we know the word, we know the sentence formation, we understood. Yes.
Yes. So in that case we can say that the knower is just receiving the knowledge and then from memory he is reproducing it.
Hmm.
But let's say the situations of, let's say
Just এখানে একটা জিনিস hold on. You have said that the listener is reproducing. In reproduction, there may be some problem. Suppose someone has told me কৃষ্ণস্তু ভগবান স্বয়ং, কৃষ্ণ হচ্ছেন ভগবান, আমি এটা ভুলভাবে শুনলাম অন্য কিছু, আমি এটা কিছু ভুল বলতে পারি, কিন্তু ওই সেন্টেন্সটার মধ্যে ভুল ছিল না। প্রভুপাদ একটা জায়গায় বলেছেন, I may be imperfect, but my knowledge is perfect. It's a very famous statement. That means my imperfection does not have any influence on this Vedic knowledge because I am quoting the Shastri as it is. So that means I may be having four defects. I may forget the sloka, but that does not mean the sloka is untrue. I may I can misquote the sloka. That is my fault. I cannot reproduce it correctly. But that does not mean that knowledge is imperfect. Knowledge is perfect. Knowledge is always perfect. There is no alteration, nothing. So the শব্দ প্রমাণ is that, হ্যাঁ আপনি যেটা বলছেন সেটা হচ্ছে, সেটাকে বলা হয় হচ্ছে শব্দবোধ। That is called Shabdabodha. Shabdabodha means there is a problem in Shabdabodha and Shabda Anubhava. শব্দটা আমি যেটা শুনলাম সেটা আমি কিভাবে প্রসেস করে আমার নিজের ভেতরে জ্ঞানটা প্রডিউস করছি, সেখানে আমার প্রবলেম হতে পারে। বাট যে জ্ঞানটা আসছে, যে জ্ঞানটা আমি রিসিভ করছি, রেডিওতে বললো যে অমুক অমুক তারিখে বললো যে 24th অগাস্টে, হ্যাঁ ঝাড়খণ্ডের ওপরে প্রচন্ড ঝড় হয়ে যাবে। আমি 24th অগাস্টে ঝাড়খণ্ডের উপরে ঝড় হয়ে যাওয়াটা আমি শুনলাম 25th অগাস্টে ঝাড়খণ্ডের উপর ঝড় হয়ে যাবে। আমি ভুল শুনলাম, কিন্তু রেডিওতে ঠিক বলেছিল কথাটা, রেডিওতে শব্দটা ঠিক আছে। দ্যাট মিনস দিস শব্দ প্রমাণ is perfect because this is free from learners or pramatas or defect. Okay?
প্রভু শব্দতে মানে শুধু বৈদিক নলেজটাকেই শব্দতে করে
যেকোনো শব্দ, আপাতত যেকোনো শব্দ বলছি, যেকোনো শব্দ। ওকে,
হুম।
আজকে আমি আমি একটা বলছি, শব্দটা যেটা আছে সেটা পারফেক্ট, সেটা একটা শব্দ। এবার সেই শব্দটা, এবার আমি কি বলতে পারি, এবার কি হবে, এবার আপনি বলবেন যে হ্যাঁ কালের সঙ্গে পরম্পরা নষ্ট পরন্তপা, এই যে পরম্পরা নষ্ট হয়ে গেল, কি করে নষ্ট হলো? পরম্পরা নষ্ট হয়ে গেল, দ্যাট ডাজ নট মিন দ্যাট নলেজটা নষ্ট হয়ে গেছে। ভগবান ওই একই নলেজ, ভগবান কি বলছেন, আমি পুরনো নলেজটা আবার দিচ্ছি তোমাকে। নলেজ ওয়াজ সেম, বাট পরম্পরার মাধ্যমে ওটা ডিস্টর্ট করেছে কেউ ওটা ঠিক মতন বোঝেনি, সেই জন্য পরম্পরাটা নষ্ট হয়ে গেছে। আমি সেটাকে আবার পুনরুজ্জীবিত করছি, আমি নতুন নলেজ দিচ্ছি না। শব্দ প্রমাণ ইজ দ্য সেম নলেজ দ্যাট আই এম নট দিস বডি, আই এম সোল। সেম নলেজ, দেহিনস্মিন যথা দেহে কৌমারং যৌবনং যারা, এই সেম নলেজ সূর্যদেবকে আমি কোটি 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 বছর আগে দিয়েছি, আবার তোমাকে আমি দিচ্ছি। নলেজটা সেম, কারণ এই সূর্যদেব থেকে এইখানে আজকে এতকালে নলেজের ডিসিপ্লিন সাকসেশনটা ডিস্টর্টেড হয়েছে, নলেজ ডিস্টর্টেড হয়। নলেজের সাকসেশন ক্যান বি ডিস্টর্টেড বিকজ দ্যার ইজ এ শব্দ বোধা ক্যান বি ডিস্টর্টেড বিকজ sometimes if the parampara system is not bona fide or they have some ulterior motive, there is a viprolipsa in the speaker can do cheating. Just like when the Brahmana Sanskriti was Brahman Sanskriti was degraded, they distorted the Vedic knowledge. They make that they make, even though the Krishna has given the knowledge, but knowledge chaturvarna maya srishta guno karma vibhagas, but they have told that janma karma vibhagas. So they distorted it. Knowledge was same, but speaker was having viprolipsa. Viprolipsa was the defect by which only by viprolipsa this Shabda Praman can also be polluted if they want to pollute. Okay, are you getting the point? The Shabda Pramana can be polluted only by viprolipsa, because otherwise there is no other problem. Okay, other three defects will not come in Shabda Pramana, only the speakers, because speaker is having the viprolipsa, not the knowledge. Again, speaker is introducing the defect into his teaching, because in his speech he is distorting his 10 commandment was thou shalt not kill. They have told that thou shalt not murder. So they introduced the knowledge was given by Jesus Christ in the 10 commandment was correct, but they introduced the distortion by the viprolipsa. So there the validation lost. There, this is the main problem actually. The entire Vedic, the degradation of Vedic culture was due to this viprolipsa. Try to understand. There was no problem with the Shabda, with the Veda. Veda was not having the problem. Sometimes we have a understanding many things, like women were not having proper respect and many things. But this is not there in the fully true in the Vedas. Everyone was having very good respect. They have given a very distorted or a what I can say a modified version, which creates the confusion due to the modification and created the confusion. So that is separate thing. I'm just giving one statement. So the Shabda Praman, suppose I one simple example. A child is having in his he has bought say 10, he has bought 2 or 3 Rasagolla in his tiffin box. And he is telling to someone that I have 2. One I have taken now, I will take afterwards. I cannot give. Another one is asking, and his friend is asking, give me another Rasagolla. He said that I have only 2. So the 3, he is having 3, but he is telling his 2. So that means that he is distorting the fact because he wants to keep it with himself. A simple example. So the person who is hearing that he is having 2 in this statement, that hearer does not have any influence on this statement. Hearer is hearing it is a true. In the Shabda, I am giving to my friend in my statement, from the statement that I am giving from him, he is the listener, to him, this statement is not having any fault. He is accepting and he said, okay, finish. But this person had done viprolipsha. It can be viprolipsha. It can be other defects also. Like it may be he has not. It has been kept in the another compartment of the tiffin box that he has not seen it properly. He has inferred, concluded that oh, it is only 3. It is only 2. It may be 3. So many things can happen. So there can be the speaker may have the 4 defect and can misrepresent the knowledge. Okay, that is also a possibility. That is also a possibility. But if he give the as it is, then that is no problem. So that's why Prabhupada said that I am having this defect, but I am delivering, I'm not giving my knowledge. When someone is going to give his own knowledge, his own interpretation, his own concoction, then this viprolipsha will happen. This viprolipsha can happen and other misunderstanding can also happen. Mainly the viprolipsha. Okay. So this is how we need to understand that this is the basis of epistemological truth or the pramana shastra. Yes.
Prabhu, I have one question, Prabhu.
Yes.
So here we are understanding that the knowledge is perfect, but the speaker, if he is distorting it because of viprolipsha, then the audience will get distorted knowledge. But let's say, like, it still depends on the speaker, right? Like, if he is giving from his best of ability, if he's trying to give the exact knowledge, but still there are gradations, right, in speaker, like
Hmm.
because of some speaker the effect of on audience is something, because of other speaker the effect is something.
Yes, that's it. That is you are telling suppose some that is the influence part. Okay, someone can penetrate the avidya. Like Prabhupada when is telling Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. The avidya is penetrated. But when I am saying the same thing, I may not penetrate because of the lack of purity. That is a different aspect. That is a different understanding. Okay. But the point is, Prabhupada is telling not only Prabhupada is not only giving that you believe on me. That's why this introduction is important. Prabhupada is telling, Prabhupada is bringing the entire ISKCON audience to what? Sadhu, Guru, Shastri.
Shastri.
This is the 3 things. Not only Guru. What the Prabhupada disciple? Prabhupada is the Guru. Okay? Who is the Sadhu? Who is Sadhu?
Other devotees, god brothers and
No.
Prabhupads.
No. Anyone else? Who is Sadhu? When Prabhupada is telling I am the guru for the Prabhupada disciple. Prabhupada is the guru. I am telling Prabhupada is the guru. Who is the sadhu?
His disciples.
No. Sadhu, guru, shastra. Three check. Can his disciples check? Can disciples validate anything? Based on the disciples' interpretation, can any Vedic conclusion can be validated?
Sadhu means another like parampara, like Prabhupada's guru.
Exactly. Previous acharyas.
Mhm.
Previous acharyas are sadhu. Please try to understand this thing very clearly. When we say sadhu guru shastra, guru is our present guru. For us, our spiritual master is the guru. Okay. Sadhu means
Previous.
আচ্ছা,
before, previous.
পূর্বতন আচার্যদের যে পদাঙ্ক
Purvatan
অনুসরণ।
acharya. Purvatan acharya. So something I am saying, whether the previous acharyas also said, that's why studying previous acharyas commentary. From where Prabhupada is writing this? Prabhupada has given Bhagavad Gita's commentary based on Gita Bhushan, written by Baladav Bhushan. Okay, mainly Baladav Bhushan. He has mainly quoted Baladav Bhushan. Okay, so, and that's why Prabhupada has also told that after reading my books, if you get time, you should study previous Acharya's book also. Validate to see. I have actually, during when I was studying Bhakti Shastri in 2017, I was consulting this Gita Bhushan and I was understanding that it was amazingly Prabhupada has simplified in a simplified language and with present examples he has reproduced the Bhagavad Gita Bhushan commentary on.
That
When
is
I first
in
time,
English. It is there, Prabhu. Gita Bhushan.
now Bhanu Sai Maharaj,
Ah,
all glories to him, he has produced everything in English now. Okay, it is available. We are studying from there only. So my experience when I first read Bhagavad Gita, for me, I understood all the purports are saying. Throughout the Bhagavad Gita, I have a thing. Prabhupada is writing one thing, Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead, and we are living entity, we need to start. This thing I understood. This is the essence. But for me, it was very boring. I was understanding why Prabhupada is writing the same thing in a different language, different purport. In any chapter, any purport, I was understanding only this thing, nothing else. But then when I started studying during Bhakti Shastri, consulted previous acharyas' books and these things, and I hear the teacher lecture, then each and every purport is the unique purport. The revelation happens slowly, little bit. So, if we go deeper, each and every sloka is giving a particular knowledge. It's not that Krishna is giving everything, even repeating same thing in same all the sloka throughout 700 sloka. No, not like that. Each and every sloka has a unique message, and for that a unique purport is there. So each and every purport is very important, and that has a uniqueness. But to understand the uniqueness, you need to study little depth, and that's why Prabhupada has a desire to publish another Bhagavad Gita version based on, I think, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur commentary. Okay, based on based on Bhakti Vinod Thakur commentary. Okay, so there are commentaries are available. Even on this Ishopanishad, Bhakti Vinod Thakur commentary is available. The Baladev Vidyabhushan's commentary is available. And mainly for these two acharyas are available. Okay, so the point is this Guru Sadhu Shastra. That they are actually even Guru is sometimes if some this check and balance is there, and the what I can say, this check and balance system is introduced in the parampara in a firmly, then parampara will not be lost. Please try to understand this.
Prabhu,
Yeah, yeah.
when we are saying that by sadhu we
Yes,
refer to previous acharyas.
yes,
Then if we see in ISKCON now, so many devotees are writing books. Then what
yes.
is the value? Like how do we take those things? Like
We need
many.
to check. See, first of all, we need to check for anyone writing after Srila Prabhupada. We have to check based on first of all Prabhupada book. If the particular subject is not discussed in Prabhupada books, go to previous acharyas. Somewhere you have to give reference. See, how have you read any commentary written by other acharyas? You have not
No.
read. If you read na, see, they are writing one line, quoting either Bhagavatam or previous Bhagavad Gita sloka.
Bhaktya Loka
Not
I
in,
have Bhaktya
not
Loka I
in,
was
not
reading.
not in anything. They're writing something, giving quotation from Bhagavatam, mainly from Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita or some other shastra or some Smriti Praman. So that's why Prabhupada is establishing this Ishopanishad as a Shruti to, and if you hear Prabhupada lecture, Prabhupada will often quote why we need to memorize sloka, why you are giving, we are telling that in Bhakti Shastri you should memorize sloka. Why you are memorizing sloka? Because the Bhagavad Gita sloka is a basis. It is the Lord's wording. If you can establish anything based on Lord's wording, no one can question further. If someone is questioned, that is a kutarka. That is a different. He cannot be established. Jiva Goswami has written in his Tattva Sandarbha, when the class was happening, many questions were coming. So finally, so someone telling that how to understand. He was referring some another book, Tarka Sangra. Tarka Sangra is not a very, what I can say, in our parampara book. Someone say why. So then he said the Tarka Sangra is referred by Jiva Goswami. Finish. Jiva Goswami. Now, if someone says what is the authenticity of Jiva Goswami, sorry, please go out from this parampara if you question about Jiva Goswami's parampara. So that is what today I was hearing the lecture of Radhesham Prabhu. He was telling that how, based on this Acharya's commentary, Acharya's conclusion, if we have this Sadhuguru Shastra, we can actually understand very complicated truth or very peculiar thing also we can accept very easily. Suppose Radhesham Prabhu was giving an example, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has shown Sarabhuj Darshan to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Sarabhuj Darshan is a peculiar darshan. Now, in Chaitanya Charitamrita is written, Gambhira, he has shown Chaturbhuj Darshan to Kashi Mishra. It is written. Now, how we can believe? Can anyone tell? Whether Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has genuinely shows Sarabhuj Darshan or Chaturbhuj Darshan to Kashi Mishra or to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, how we can believe? How we can believe?
From reading only, to like Shastra only.
Reading, obviously reading, we got the information, but how we will believe? Someone, if you read it in some academic world, they will say, "What nonsense you are telling? This is we have never heard. Where is the proof?" They will ask, "Where is the proof?" What we can say to them?
Because previous acharyas believed like
Yes, that is the one thing. Another thing we can ask. That is a little challenging way. We need to ask that: can you prove your great grandfather's presence? You first prove your great grandfather's presence. He will be dumbfounded. He will not. He will not be able to answer anything. How you can prove great grandfather's presence? Is there any mechanism? Is there any way someone we can prove that yes, he is like that? That person, particular that person is your great grandfather. Yes, as I am existing, that is the great grandfather. But who is the great grandfather? Who is that great grandfather? You cannot. Similarly, Ashoka wins over Kalinga. There was a Panipat history. Panipat war is there. How you can prove? So if for mundane thing, we have to believe. We have to believe on the information that we are having. We are believing. We are relying on on whatever fact we are hearing from the historians. So why not this? We cannot prove. There is no physical proof. There is no laboratory proof that this particular person is great grandfather except Shabda Praman. You can go to Goa. If you say your name, your family name, they will show you, yes, your great grandfather name is this. And if you ask if you have grandfather, grandfather will also say the name is same name. They have. That is Shabda Praman. They have recorded it. You know that, na? In the Goa, if you can find out your previous family member's name, if they have gone to do the Pindadan Sanskar. Normally, there was a ritual. They used to go to do the Pindadan Sanskar because Goa is a Vishnu Kshetra. So usually the culture is going. So, like for my father, my brother has done. So it is there. So it is there. So there are various things in the Vedic teaching. So the point is, I want to make simple point that Shabda Praman, the Shabda does not have any problem until and unless it is distorted by something. The original Shabda Praman is not having any, because why? Now the point is why it is not. One is from the Pramata's point of view, that is the knower point of view. Another is this Shabda is not produced by some mundane person. It is coming from Apaurusha source. That I will show you now. We will complete this discussion. Okay. So this is the Shabda Praman. This is the basis. This is the basis of Veda. So how the Vedic knowledge is derived, there are two methodology which Srila Prabhupada discussed in his lecture in this particular paragraph. That is Aroha Pantha and Avoroha Pantha. Aroha Pantha means inductive. The attempt is to reach the infinite through personal endeavor, like flying an aeroplane at the speed of the mind for millions of years. The research will never be finished. That means something we are trying to prove it. Prove it by our analytical method, by our mathematical method, various ways, philosophical ways, chiram vichinna. Okay, so that is not possible. That is called aroha. And aboroha means receiving from a perfect source. So that is the point. That's why what is Shabda Praman? Now I'm not defined what is the perfect Shabda Praman. Perfect Shabda Praman is non-defective sentence. Okay, non-defective sentence is the perfect Shabda Praman. Non-defective. The which is defective free, which is not having any defect. So that is the beauty of the parampara, the bona fide acharyas. That is the word coming, the bona fide has the main meaning, the meaningfully. Who is the perfect bona fide acharya? Bona fide parampara means where the knowledge, the truth is not distorted. There is no distortion. It is coming as it is. As it is. So that is it is as it is means it is having a validation based on the Shastra Praman. Okay. The acceptance of authorized knowledge from a perfect source, saving vast amounts of time and yielding immediate understanding. The mother principle, Prabhupada is giving this experiment. To know your father is, you cannot conduct endless experiment. Like nowadays, the DNA experiment can be done. But how can be done that for the DNA experiment that who is your father? If even to verify through DNA experiment, a possible how many possible person in the entire earth can become your father? You have to do that. But that will take many years. Okay, there was some statistical analysis that around 800 or 900, 9,000 people are there, maybe there, who can be potentially father of a person. So to validate the fatherhood through experiment, one has to perform 900 experiment, and that experiment, if one experiment will take how many minutes or hour, so that many hour has to be invested, and then the fatherhood can be established by the experiment. But if so, this is the inductive method. To come into a conclusion, I am saying I don't know anything. Okay, I don't want to hear anyone. I want to do
But then
experiment.
that also, Prabhu, the DNA process and all those things are also product of our senses only,
Yes,
right?
there
Defective.
also can be defect. Yes, there can be also defect. That methodology also has some defect. But okay, for the time being, if we understand that yes, that methodology is correct for the to some extent, so error is there, but like our pathological test we do. Okay, we say that someone is having blood sugar. Okay, so we understand, we make a normal standard, and then there is error. So we within that error range we accepted the result. So that is the point, that each and every, and that's why there are many changes in the scientific field, and they say it is updatation. They say it is an updatation, but it is not an updatation. One updated truth is nullified by another updated truth. So that means today what is updated, it proves to be a false. It proves to be a misleading knowledge. Okay. I know in my engineering field, every year there are editions are published. One is business, another is to overcome the imperfection of the information, imperfection of the methodology. They are updated. But Vedas are not having this kind of updatation methodology. The 700 sloka given by Krishna is true from very beginning. So, so there is no updatation. So this is the point, that the knowledge should be taken from a perfect source and it should be accepted. So this is not a, so as I have explained, that following Sadhuguru Shastra, Mahajana Jana Gatasha Pantha, this is not a blind faith. This is not a blind following. If this would have been a blind following, then we would never have been possible to conclude who is our great grandfather or who is our father. So then that is also blind following. So that is the point, that accepting a knowledge, accepting a wisdom from a bona fide, perfect, non-defective source is a perfect. So what are the Vedas? The Vedas means, now why Vedas are like this? The Vedas simply means knowledge. It represents original, complete and perfect knowledge. Jalajana Balakshani. There are 9 lakh kind of species are there in the aquatics. Okay. 400 kinds of the Churashi Lokha Joni. It is a perfect Churashi Lokha Joni is there. So this kind of knowledge is perfect. Not it may be 900. Even I am sure that geological experts are not, scientists are not able to conclude what are these 9 lakh species are there in the aquatics. So, but Veda has given this thing in Padma Puran so many years ago. So this is Veda. Okay. The origin is Apaurisha. Why it is so perfect? Because it is coming from operation, not completed by many human beings. Vedic knowledge comes from the spiritual world, breathed out by the Supreme Lord. It is free from our 4 defects of conditioned soul. So the knowledge is, again, try to understand, free from the 4 defects of the conditioned soul. Okay. If it is polluted by the conditioned soul, then Veda can also be destroyed. And that's why for Veda, who will be able to study Veda, there were some adhikar. Not everyone was allowed to read Veda. A particularly persons who are having Vedic qualification, Brahminical qualification, not Brahminical by birth, Brahminical qualification by qualification, quality, by character. Not everyone is allowed to Veda, because there is a possibility that if he is not having, if the knowledge is fall in the wrong hand, it may be distorted. And that is actually has happened latter stage. And that's why Veda was Shruti. It was encrypted by Shruti. So that the Apaurusha character remains as it is. Otherwise, it will be destroyed. And that's why the parampara comes. First imported to Brahma, Tene Brahmarida Adi Kavai, the grandfather of the universe, who distributed to Narada, continuing downward to an unbroken disciplic succession. Okay. So this is an unbroken disciplic succession is there. Unbroken disciplic succession. The parampara that Krishna was referring, that is the different Rajarshi parampara, that was broken. But this parampara was valid parampara. Very technical name also, I'm just forgetting the name of that parampara. That is, I think, spiritual parampara, or the Diksha parampara, and that is, I think, the Rajarshi parampara was basically family-wise parampara, genealogical parampara was there. So that parampara was having problem, but this parampara was. So the Vedic principles are, so now these Vedas, how we have to accept as the axiomatic. Anyone has a understanding what is axiomatic truth? In geometry, we have learned Shatoshiddha, axioms, and theorems. Can anyone give any example of axiomatic truth you learned in geometry in class 9? Axioms. Any example of axioms? স্বতঃসিদ্ধ কারো মনে আছে? কারো মনে আছে? কারোর একটা মনে নেই? একটা সেন্টেন্স ক্লাস 9 পুরো ভুলে গেছেন সবাই? ক্লাস 9 এর ম্যাথমেটিক্স? কারো মনে পড়ছে কিছু অ্যাক্সিওম? স্বতঃসিদ্ধ, বাংলায় স্বতঃসিদ্ধ বলা হয়। হরে কৃষ্ণা।
মনে নেই প্রভু, আপনি বলে দিন, মনে করতে পারছি না এখন।
3টি বিন্দু দিয়ে যদি একটি রেখা টানা যায় তাকে বলা হয় সরল রেখা। মনে পড়ছে? এরকম একটা কিছু ছিল। এরকম অনেকগুলো স্বতঃসিদ্ধ ছিল। Anyway, so they govern. So this is the axiomatic truth. This does not need any proof. It is axiomatic. It is not exactly as simple as axiomatic truth that we have learned in mathematics, but it is like that. So they govern varnashram, the natural universal division of society, spiritual, far beyond the foreign localized level of. So this Hindu word, Prabhupada also mentioned that Hindu word is also a foreign language, foreign terminology. So this is also not true. So we almost the end of this class. So one validation, one example of validation. So this video I want to show you time dilation. Anybody has heard this word, time dilation?
No Prabhu.
Time dilation means it is there in Einstein relativity theory that you have the understanding, সকলেরই আপনারা কনসেপ্টটা জানেন কিন্তু এইভাবে জানেন না, সেই জন্য আমি একটু বলে দিই ব্যাপারটা। মানে সময় যদি আমি সিম্পলিফিকেশনে বলি, যে যদি একটা ঘড়ি যদি চলতে থাকে তাহলে সেটা টাইমটা খুব স্লো মুভ করবে, ঘড়িটা স্লো হয়ে যাবে। আর যদি ঘড়িটা স্থির থাকে একটা জায়গায় তাহলে ঘড়িটা তাড়াতাড়ি চলবে। ঠিক আছে? এটা আইনস্টাইন প্রথম এই কনসেপ্টটা দিয়েছিল। তো সকলে প্রথম অবাক হয়ে গেছিল, এটা কি বলছেন আইনস্টাইন? একটা ঘড়ি চললে সেই ঘড়িটা স্লো হয়ে যাবে, আর ঘড়িটা থেমে থাকলে ঘড়িটা তাড়াতাড়ি চলবে। তা এটা প্রথমে আপনারা মডার্ন ভার্সনটা দেখুন। ইট ইস ইন ইংলিশ। তারপরে আমরা এটা বৈদিক ভার্সনটা দেখি। সকলে শুনতে পাচ্ছেন কিনা আমাকে বলবেন? সাউন্ড আসছে কি?
প্রভু
না
সাউন্ড
তো,
সাউন্ড আসছে না, না?
না তো।
সাউন্ড আনার জন্য কি করতে হবে? সাউন্ড আসছে?
না প্রভু সাউন্ড তো আসছে না।
তবু
আপনারা
শেয়ার ট্যাব
হ্যাঁ, আমি
অডিওটা এনেবল।
Yes, sir. আমি এটা শেয়ার করে দেবো। আপনারা ভিডিওটা দেখুন শুধু। আমি বলতে থাকছি। আমি মুখে, মুখে বলতে থাকছি। ভিডিওটা দেখতে থাকুন ছোট করে। আমি জাস্ট ফাস্ট ফরওয়ার্ড করে দিচ্ছি কিছুটা। তো এখানে মেইনলি উনি যেটা বলতে চাইছেন যে when a clock will be moving, it will move slow. He will show something. And that's why উনি বলছেন যে যদি এটা এরকম চলতে থাকে, হ্যাঁ? তা এটাকে এই দেখুন ঘড়িটা দেখুন, যে ঘড়িটা চলছে সেই ঘড়িটা কিন্তু আস্তে, আস্তে মুভ করছে। দেখতে পেলেন? এইভাবে কি হচ্ছে, যখন কোনো একটা জিনিস খুব স্পিডে যাবে, যত বেশি স্পিড বাড়বে তত সে আস্তে যাবে। এবং যখন সে এই পৃথিবীর মাধ্যাকর্ষণ শক্তি থেকে বাইরে বেরিয়ে যাবে, তখন সে আরো স্পিডে যাবে। এর ফলে কি হবে, ঘড়ি যদি খুব স্পিডে মানে ঘড়ির স্পিড যদি কমে যায়, তাহলে কি হবে? তার বয়স কমবে না। এখানে বলা যায় যে টি মুভিং অ্যান্ড টি স্টেশনারি, দ্যাট ইজ দ্য গামা। গামা ইজ এ 1 যখন এটা স্টেশনারি থাকছে। কিন্তু যখন এটা মুভ করবে, দেখুন এটা স্টেশনারি ঘড়ি, ওকে? একটা ঘড়ি যখন মুভ করছে তখন এটা খুব স্লো চলছে। তো এই জিনিসটা এবার সেই গামার ভ্যালুটা কত হবে সেইটা আইনস্টাইনের এই রিলেটিভিটি, এটা একটা এই ফর্মুলাটা আমরা যারা ফিজিক্স নিয়ে 11-12 পড়েছি তারা হয়তো এই ফর্মুলাটা সম্বন্ধে ওয়াকিবহাল। এটা দেখেছেন 11-12 ফিজিক্সে এরকম একটা ফর্মুলা ছিল যেখানে সি হচ্ছে লাইটের স্পিড, ভি হচ্ছে ভেলোসিটি। এই ভেলোসিটিতে ওটা মুভ করছে। ওকে? তো এটাকে বলা হচ্ছে লরেন্স রিলেটিভিটি, মানে লরেন্স কনস্ট্যান্ট। তো এইটা আমি জাস্ট এইটুকুই বলছি, এটার পর বেশি কিছু আর এর মধ্যে বোঝার কিছু নেই। আমি জাস্ট এটা বলতে চাইলাম একটা জিনিস, যে এটা দেখে এটা আমি কেন দেখাচ্ছি? প্রশ্ন হচ্ছে যে আমি আজকে হঠাৎ ঈশোপনিষদ ক্লাসে এটা কেন দেখাতে শুরু করি? তো এইটা তার কারণ হচ্ছে, এটার মধ্যে কি দেখা যাচ্ছে? এটার মধ্যে যেটা দেখা যাচ্ছে সেটা হচ্ছে যে যদি আমি ইন্টারস্পেসে হাই স্পিডে ট্রাভেল করি তাহলে আমার বয়স কম রেটে আমি বড় হব, বুড়ো হব। আমার বয়সটা বাড়বে অনেক কম। এটা স্টিফেন হকিংসও দ্য ব্রিফ হিস্ট্রি অফ টাইমে লিখেছে। একই জিনিস। তা এবার আমরা
প্রভু এই
দেখবো
মুভিতে ইন্টারস্টেলার মুভিতে এই এই জিনিসটাই ছিল মানে
এই জিনিসটাই ছিল। এবার আমি 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 এবার দেখাচ্ছি বৈদিক ভার্সন। বৈদিক ভার্সন কারো মনে পড়ছে এরকম ঘটনা? এবার বৈদিক ভার্সনটা দেখুন। এটারও সাউন্ডটা আমি কেন দিতে পারলাম না বুঝতে পারছি না। সো বৈদিক ভার্সনে এই কনসেপ্টটা বহুকাল আগে আমাদের ভাগবতমে, বেদাতে, বৈদিক লিটারেচারে অলরেডি এটা কনসেপ্টটা আছে, যেটা অনেক দিন বাদে এবার আজকে আমি আমার রাধেশ্যাম প্রভুজির লেকচার থেকে এটা আমি কালেক্ট করেছি। রাধেশ্যাম প্রভুজি বলছিলেন, জানি না, আমরা জানি না যে মানে ভগবত গীতা তো পড়তেন, শুনেছি আমরা। এটা কি বলেছে, এভরি আওয়ার উই স্পেন্ড এই আর্থে, আমরা যেটা জানি যে উচ্চ লোকে কি হয়, উচ্চ লোকে টাইমটা অনেক কম স্পিডে চলে। তা একজন রাজা ছিল, হ্যাঁ, যিনি তার মেয়ের বিয়ের জন্য ব্রহ্মার কাছে গেছিলেন, এবং ব্রহ্মা সেই সময় একটা সঙ্গীত অনুষ্ঠানে শুনছিলেন, ব্যস্ত ছিলেন। তা উনি তখন বলেছিলেন যে তুমি একটু বাইরে ওয়েট করো। তো ব্রহ্মার ওখানে বাইরে কয়েক মুহূর্ত ওয়েট করেছিলেন, উনি 1 মিনিট না বা 2 মিনিট ওখানে ওয়েট করেছিলেন। তা সেই সময় এখানে যখন উনি ফিরে এসছেন তখন কোটি কোটি বছর চলে গেছে, কত যুগ পেরিয়ে গেছে। ঠিক? তো সেটার ফলে কি হয়েছে, উনি যখন অতগুলো যুগ পেরিয়ে গেছে তখন যখন চলে এসছে, উনি ছিলেন কোনো একটা সত্য যুগে ছিলেন, সত্য যুগে রাজা ছিলেন। তারপরে সেই সময় যখন এসছেন তখন এই দাপর যুগ, আমাদের কলিযুগের আগে যে দাপর যুগ, সেই দাপর যুগ ছিল। সেই দাপর যুগে তখন একমাত্র বলরাম ছিল যাকে বিয়ে করার জন্য, বলরাম তখন বিয়ে করেন ওনার মেয়েকে। ঠিক আছে? তা বলরাম যে মনে হয় রেবতী, রেবতীরই বাবার কথা বলা হচ্ছে। তা সেইখানে অলরেডি টাইম ডাইলেশনের কথা বৈদিক শাস্ত্রে অলরেডি ছিল। তো ফ্রম দিস উই ক্যান আন্ডারস্ট্যান্ড দ্যাট বেদা ওয়াজ হ্যাভিং, এখানে প্রপাত যেরকম অনেক কিছুর উদাহরণ আছে, আমি এই এক্সাম্পলটা খুব সায়েন্টিফিক্যালি দেখালাম, যেটার মাধ্যমে আমরা বলতে পারি যে হোয়াট এভার দেয়ার ইজ ইন দ্য নলেজ অ্যাজ দ্য বেদা, ইট ইজ ট্রু অ্যান্ড ইট ক্যান বি ভ্যালিডেটেড, হ্যাঁ, by modern experiment or mathematical model or many things. Okay, it can be validated. So that's why the pramana, whatever we have heard, basically all the pramanas are basically from Shabda pramana, and whatever experimental pratyaksha and anumana, if it is in line with Shabda, that can be accepted. It is not that the pratyaksha and anumana is completely rejected. One famous anumana is Darwin theory. That is completely rejected. Intelligent design theory is there now. So we need to understand that, and that intelligent design theory is coming from Shukdan. So this is a very interesting topic. I don't know how far I make it understand to you. So Prabhupada introduction you can read further. Further details are there. Many things you can understand. I'm giving a gist of it, and basic understanding I have given. Other Prabhupada has given many other examples which you can read. So shall we need to take? Now it is already 6 o'clock. Okay. So how long we can take? That is the question. Now we are stationary. That's why our time is moving very fast. If we can move very some spaceship, we can cover the entire thing very quickly. By applying time dilation, we can make the time move slow.
Prabhu, we are finishing at 6:30 today, then we can continue, Prabhu, I think.
Up to 6:30, whatever we can do, we can complete. Okay.
No,
Everyone
we
is
can-
everyone is okay up to 6:30.
Yes.
Okay, so now let us start the invocation part. Okay, so another thing. So I think you understood Romanas. You have understood from this, and why probe? Another thing is why is Prabhupada has given Ishopanishad. I think we discussed that to establish the Shruti Praman, because if we want to defeat any Mayavadis, we need to have Shruti Pramana. They don't consider Smriti as a very much Vedic. Okay. Even yesterday we were having the class. It was told that in the Sanskrit literature, the Veda, there is two divisions, Vedika and Laukika. In the Vedic part, the Vedic literatures are there, and others are Laukika. Even all the Smriti Shastras are called Laukika. But we know it is Laukika, but it is a very empowered Laukika. Bhagavatam is finally the Amula Purana, but that is coming from Vyasdev. So it is a very empowered Laukika. So they normally, this is the technical classification they do in this way. But we need to understand this. So that's why Prabhupada, even if you read Aham Sarvasva Prabhava Bhars from chapter 10, 10.8, if you see the purport, Prabhupada was quoting one after another Shruti Shastras, various Upanishads he was quoting. Why he was quoting Upanishad? Because the validation of the Upanishad is far better than normal Smriti. Even though Lord's statement, to prove Lord's statement, Prabhupada was giving Shruti Praman. So this particular issue Upanishad is the Upanishad. Other Upanishad is not having such what can we say? Such, okay, I will show one very quick PPT on which the overview of the entire issue Upanishad. Okay, so that will be good understanding. Then we can move to the invocation part. So this particular issue Upanishad is taking towards Veda, towards Supreme Personality of God. Isho means Ishar. Okay, so that way it will do. Let me better that. Okay, so the here is a brief description of it. So, first of all, the first three mantra, 1, 2, 3. I think it is visible to you na, on the screen. It is clear.
Yeah,
So,
yes, Prabhu.
first
Yeah.
first 1, 2, 3 mantra is the living in harmony with God. The Lord is the complete whole. This will be explained in the invocation part, and then accepting and as he is the complete whole and everything is coming from him, so he is in control. Ishavasham. Under he's the full control of everything. So, and that's why accepting him as the supreme, we should accept once only our quota. And the person who are not accepting, what is the fate of that? They will be doomed. They will be suffering in the darkest region that is described. So, why one should living in harmony, and what happens if one is discarding this truth? So, this is the first part. Second is developing spiritual vision. Okay, the Lord's ultimately what is the objective of Ishopanishad? To bring one closer to the Lord, to the supreme truth. Here Lord's name is not there. ভগবানের নাম কোনো উল্লেখ করা নেই। Okay, এখানে ভগবানের বেসিক আন্ডারস্ট্যান্ডিং দেওয়া হচ্ছে, ভেরি বেসিক আন্ডারস্ট্যান্ডিং। সো এই জন্য ঈশোপনিষদকে বলা হয় ইট ইজ লাইক এ শিশু সাহিত্য ইন ওয়ান সেন্স। ওয়াই শিশু সাহিত্য, শিশু পাঠ্য? বিকজ ওয়াই শিশু পাঠ্য বলা হয়? Because the children, so the truth evolution of the knowledge is evolving from brahmeti paramatmeti shabde. So brahman knowledge is the impersonal knowledge. Okay, that is the first understanding, and then paramatma. Okay, and then Bhagavan. So here it is the transition in between. So they are taken to the Bhagavan reality, but not fully. So that's why here in the entire Ishopanishad there is no name of Krishna, Vasudev, Achyuta, nothing is there. Nothing is there. Not a single name is there. Okay. So here all indirectly, supreme absolute truth is indicated. Very much indirect. So the language is also a little different. Okay. And so we need to understand from the previous Acharya's commentary to actually understand this. So this phase, second part is spiritual vision. From 4 to 8, the Lord's inconceivable nature is described, and developing equal vision and adopting divine qualities. So this will be described. Second part is Vidya and Avidya, Shambhuti and Ashambhuti, balancing knowledge and ignorance. Okay, what is knowledge and what is ignorance? Vidya and Avidya. That is also will be understood from here. So again, the what is knowledge will be described here, and Prabhupada will be quoting from there on, from chapter 13 on, from chapter 13, verse 8 to 13, 8 to 13 or 8 to 14, some total 6-7 verses there. He will be quoting it exactly. He will be quoting that verse. So to make understand what is knowledge, okay. This knowledge is perfect knowledge. And finally, the prayer from mantra 15 to 18, the removing the effulgence to reveal the form, remembering service. Okay. So these are the and destroying the sin. So he is praying that Brahmajyoti, he will explain that you remove the Brahmajyoti, you will remove the Hiranyagarbha Ujjwal face. So here a very indirect or little glimpse of form is there will be explained here. Okay. Otherwise, it is not very clearly what is Lord form. Lord is two-handed, four-handed, Muralidhar. Nothing is there. Okay. So this is completely a Vedic trans. It is a progressively candidate. A student is taken towards the higher realm. And here also the same things we already discussed. This is Apurishyo, the flawlessness, Sruti Pramana, and axiomatic truth. And this committing the mistake, this already we have this, Arahorpanta, Horapanta, this is there. Here the some important thing is the what is Veda? What is Veda and how it is descended? There are 4 Vedas and it is descended from Brahma, from Narada to Vyasdeva. So originally it was one Veda. Okay, it was one Veda. Later on, for the sake of Kali Yuga, people, Vyasdeva has done it. That's why he's called Vyasa. He has Bistar. He has Bistar. He has make the one Veda into four Veda. So subjectively, he has different Vedas are formed. And particularly the Ishopanishad is a part of Jajur Veda. Each and every Veda has a particular structure. It is having that it will come very soon. So now it is coming the Prasthanatraya. Prasthanatraya is another foundational understanding, foundational thing to understand the spiritual knowledge. That is Shruti Prasthan, Smriti Prasthan, and Nyaya Prasthan. Okay, so these three things are there, from which this is part of Sabda Pramana. Okay, Sabda Pramana. The Sabda Pramana can be divided into three categories. Yes, Shruti Prasthan, Smriti Prasthan, and Nyaya Prasthan. Shruti is the scripture without a mortal author, learned purely by hearing. That's Vedas and Upanishads. Smriti is scripture written in accordance with the Shruti. The Puranas and Mahabharata, Itihas, and all that. Each and everything has a particular definition. I'm not going into detail. Just understand this Smriti Prasthan. And Nyaya Prasthan is also this Vedanta Sutras. This is the highest Nyaya Prasthan. And this Bhagavatam is having these three bases. It is consolidating, or you can say, if consolidation is the right word, consolidating these three Prasthan. There are different Prasthans, under different Prasthan, different books are there. But Bhagavatam is a crest jewel of entire Veda. Nigama Kalpataru, Kalitam Phalam, Sukhamukha Amrutatra. So this is coming under final conclusion, because it is the Brahma Sutra Bhashya, finally, this is Bhagavatam. So that's why this is the crest jewel. Everything is given here. So the essence of the essence. So this dissatisfied after compiling other scriptures, Vyasdeva took guidance of Narad Muni to write the crown jewel, which perfectly explains and resolve the Vedanta Sutra. So the invocation part was related to this. No, there were another PPT where it has gone. So this is the invocation part. In the invocation, what we are learning from the complete will be produced, and after that the complete will remain. So this is another kind of transcendental equation is given. The theory, the definition of Purnam is like that. Okay. Even the complete whole is taken away from him, he is still then also is complete. So the temporary universe, this universe is a complete unit made of 24 elements for its maintenance, according to Shankar. It functions flawlessly on its own fixed time scale until annihilated by the complete whole. Okay. So the supreme source is the complete source, and the complete source, although imperfect, although innumerable perfect universes is emanating from him, he remains perfectly undiminished and complete in all respect. So that is it. It is not like a mundane gold mine that if you take the gold, one day the mine will be exhausted. But not like that. Aham sarvasya prabhava matta sarvam pravartate iti matta bhajante mang buddha bhava samannita. It is happening, but he is not. He is inexhaustibly complete source. So that is called completeness. So his completeness can be compared to any other completeness of this world. So these living beings of jivas are small complete units. They are provided all facilities across 80 lakh four species of life to ultimately realize the complete whole. In that sense, it is complete. Realization the complete absolute truth in three features: Brahma, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. Brahmeti, Paramatmati, Bhagavan. So realization of his bodily effulgence features the shock aspect, this beautiful and impersonal aspect. This thought, this impersonal effulgence is also very beautiful, but it is impersonal and formless. It is not good. Okay. And the Paramatma is a localized realization, and Bhagavan is the final Shat Chit Ananda, the fullness. The Paramatma is having Shat and Chit features, It is having the eternity and the knowledge feature, and the Bhagavan is having the full feature. Acknowledging the propriety. This is the Ishavashram first verse. Ishavashram idam sarvam jat kinchit jagatam jagat tene taktena punjita madhrija kasya siddhanam. So the Lord is Ishara. He is the Ishara. He is having full control over this entire material world. He is the super soul, the Vishnu, Vibhu Chaitanya, supreme conscious entity. He is the ultimate possessor, knower, benefactor, controller, sustainer, and dictator of absolutely everything. He is Ishara. Okay. A living entity is a minute conscious entity, Anu Chaitanya, eternally a fragmental part of the spirit. So the point of tension is ignorance. Driven by mistaken identity, the jiva try to independently enjoy material object that actually belong to us. This is the main point of tension. The why jiva is suffering due to this attempt. Even though he is not a purusha, he is thinking purusha prakritasthai bhungte, and that's why he is getting sadashat janjan. So he is trying to lording over, even though he is not lord. That is the point. Prabhupada explained the same is given the analogy of capitalism and communism. Finally, he conclude we should follow the Bhagavad communism, where the accepting Krishna as the supreme dictator. He is not a loving dictator actually. He is a supreme control, but he is having love. He's not like a the dictator. The resolution is spiritualizing matter, giving of selfish enjoyment and accepting one small quota as his mercy and offering everything back to the Lord. This is the karma yoga part. So this is by the karma yoga, we are what we are doing, we are nothing renouncing, we are just spiritualizing our activity. Yogatat karmana annata lokayam karma. So Prabhupada is giving the example of this hand metaphor. Okay. When the hand is connected with the body, it is having meaningful existence, meaningful function. But when it is disconnected, it does not have any function. So similarly, when we are connected with the complete whole and we are serving the complete, we will naturally serve the complete whole. When the connection is established, naturally the service will also flow, also happen. The point is when we got disconnected, there we cannot understand that we start misfunctioning, malfunction. So jivas are fragmental part. Mamayangsha jivaloki jiva buddha sanatana. Manoshasthana indriyani prakritisthani. Manoshasthana indriyani prakritisthani. So by mind and six indriyas, we are struggling because we forgotten this. So the jivas are fragmental parts of Krishna. When distant from him, illusory material completeness cannot satisfy them. We are trying to find completeness. We are trying to find eternal happiness. We are trying to find eternal relationship, but that cannot be found in this illusory material world. This material world is complete in what's now one may question that how come this material world is a complete unit coming from the complete whole? This complete unit is complete because this for this maintenance of this particular material world materially does not one does not need any supervision. It is happening. Supervision is there, but it is as if without any supervision. It is so much complete and it is so much automated, fully automated. Everything is happen naturally. That's why we tell it naturally happening. এটা তো স্বাভাবিকভাবেই হয়। সূর্য উঠছে, সূর্য ডুবছে, চাঁদ উঠছে, চাঁদ যাচ্ছে, জল বইছে, জোয়ার হচ্ছে, ভাটা হচ্ছে, ঋতু পরিবর্তন হচ্ছে, সবকিছু হচ্ছে as if যেন কিছুই নেই। But everything is controlled. Everything is happening automatically. So because it is emanation from the complete whole. So this is the holistic understanding. So mantra 1 is the Ishavasya Kota, ecosystem. Okay. Accepting the quota. Accepting the quota means whatever is required, need-based economy, need-based lifestyle, not greed-based. Modern philosophy, modern economy is greed-based. Okay. Consumerism is going based on this greed base. Okay. The core principle is everything animate and inanimate is owned and controlled by the Supreme Lord, and one should accept only those necessary things set aside as one's quota without greed or hankering for. So this is the so both capitalists and communists claims false proprietorship over resources of nature. For example, a laborer cannot claim to be the ultimate proprietor of a house just because he worked for it, as he did not create the earth, wood, stone, or iron. All materials remain the Lord's property. একটা বই আছে, there is a Bengali book Prabhupada has written many years ago. Before, I think it was in Bengali. I have got it. Vedic Samovad. I don't know in English it is translated or not, but it is written in Bengali. I got it. A very nice book. You can read it. This same thing is elaborated in a small book. Very nice. Vedic Samovad. So that is there. So that this is the tension, because everyone is saying, capitalist saying, I have invested the capital, so I am the proprietor. Communist thing, I am making this factory, I am working in this factory, I am the proprietor. But neither of them has the proprietorship over this wood, stone, iron, steel, nothing. Everything they have taken from nature, Mother Nature. So that they have. So the Krishna's energies are two, Apara Prakriti and Para Prakriti, inferior energy. So by this, how the supreme proprietorship is enforced in this material world? By the energy. Krishna is not directly present, but Krishna's energy is present because it is coming from Krishna. Okay. So by Apara Prakriti comprise the inert elements of the material nature. Inert means material element, earth, water, fire, ether, mind, English. The cosmic synthesis is everything in this universe is the combination of, and the Jiva, Apara Prakriti is the Jiva, the conscious living being is a Jiva. The cosmic synthesis is everything in this universe is a combination of the superior and inferior. Therefore, absolutely truth. Absolutely everything is the inherent property of the soul. So Jiva is also subordinate to the Krishna, and the nature is also subordinate. But we have forgotten. We think ourselves as the Lord, and we think this nature is meant to be exploited by us. So responsibility in human life is, animals can work instinctively, but humans should not. Human responsibility is process developing consciousness and intelligence required to understand how the laws and natural work. An animal can work instinctively. Animal cannot study the Vedas or recognize the authority of the Supreme Lord. They act solely on instinct. A tiger can kill other animals and eat their flesh without incurring sin, because it is acting strictly within the boundaries of the laws of nature ordained by the Lord. So that's how the ecosystem is made for this. But human being is at the top of, human being is not like that. Human being has a responsibility to discriminate. Here comes the role of knowledge. Okay. Every action for human being should be based on knowledge. It shouldn't be based on instinct. But nowadays, the Kali Yuga people are acting out of instinct. That's why there is no difference between animal life and human. Dharmo hitesham adhiko vishesha dharmena hina pashu visham. Or somewhere it is said jnanam adhiko vishesha. So dharma means this dharma of discrimination, dharma of responsibility. The human process that develop. Otherwise, ahar nidra bhai moithun is saying. But yes, ahar nidra bhai moithun is not denied. Ahar nidra bhai moithun is there, but it should be done responsibly. It should be done in a regulated way. It cannot be done instinctively. That is the point. So otherwise, a sin will be there. If human beings kill animals simply to satisfy their uncontrolled taste bud, they will be punished for knowingly breaking the law. So the law of nature is vegetarianism and prasada. Carnivorous diet is sinful. Deliberate disobedience of the laws of nature, it ruins humanity by entirely neglecting the Vedic instruction regarding non-violence. Simple vegetarianism, incomplete, because one cannot completely avoid transgressing the laws of nature, as vegetables also possess life. Therefore, even the vegans transgress natural laws simply by eating. By the Lord's arrangement, a cow eats grass and gives pure milk. Thus, the cow dung is purified, is considered pure in the Vedas. Yes, I was forgotten to give this example. The cow dung example Prabhupada has given. The cow dung, the stool. It is a stool of an animal, but Veda says it is pure. It is panchagoppo. Panchagoppo is used for jogga. Even the Brahmana stool cannot be used in anywhere. Brahmana, if the Brahmana passes stool, he has to take bath. But the cow, because this is the axiomatic truth. Similarly, the flesh of a animal is considered completely untouchable. But shankha, conch shell, is a flesh of an animal. But this is used in the deity room. Just beside the deity it is kept. So this is coming from this axiomatic. And if you experiment, yes, for the cow dung, some Kolkata scientist, Prabhupada given an example, he has done an experiment. And now everybody knows the cow dung has, I think, 24 kind of antiseptic properties, and that has been experimentally proved. There are many things actually, that we can say. I am not elaborating the class. Any example? Actually, in DYS, I take in a very one session only on this pramana. Okay, so it is elaborately described. So that is different session. So prasada is spiritualized. Krishna accepts vegetarian food offered by pure devotees. Patram pushpam phalam toyam jo me bhakta prayachiti tadaham bhakta puridam ashnami pradat. Humans must become devotees, offer food to the Lord and eat his remnants. Those who do not offer their food eat on his sin. This is this is this is to avoid sin. Okay. But further is bhakti is further different to offering lovingly to Krishna. Okay. Express our gratefulness. And this is what? This is a injunction that if you don't offer, you will increase. That verse. So if you are taking without offering, why it is sin? Because it is something like I have gone, suppose I go to Rajiv Prabhu's home, and without asking him, I just go to his fridge and open the fridge and take an apple. Okay, Rajiv Prabhu will not say, he's a very gentleman, he may not say, but he will think, what is this? He can ask me, I can give him. So same thing we are doing with Krishna. The plant is there. I'm seeing an apple. I'm just plucking up. Someone has plucked in the market. I'm buying and I am eating. So that means I'm not anywhere acknowledging the original source. I'm thinking I have paid money. I am the owner. So this cannot be like that. Okay. So we have to acknowledge the ownership. We have to acknowledge the Ishavashram principles like that. So thus that should be the lifestyle part. Okay, then the knowledge. So someone may follow the lifestyle and someone may not follow. And where the differentiation come? Based on the knowledge. Someone is having knowledge, someone is not having the knowledge. So what is the knowledge? That is described. Okay, avidya and misguided people. So someone is having no knowledge is better than someone is having misguided knowledge. Okay, someone is no knowledge, a clean slate. He can be very easily given knowledge. But someone is having misguided knowledge, it is very difficult for him to take the right knowledge. So this we will see the second phase. Okay. So this is the synthesis of it, and that is the Shambhuti and Ashambhuti, which we have already described. and then the praying to the Isha to reveal himself. So finally, this revelation will happen. So we'll see. This is Krishna's. That there are some truth which will be revealed. It cannot be, and which will be experienced. It cannot be proven by anything. So that is how we need to understand. Okay. So this is again the first is it is coming from the epistemology to understand the Shabda Pramana, and then the ontology to understand the object of this Pramana, and then then aligning our lifestyle with that complete whole, live a lifestyle like that, have a lifestyle of that thing based on the ethics, based on that ethics means the spiritual ethics, and finally connecting with them. Finally going back to that, understanding this material world is not a place, not our home. It is a it is a jail, it is a durga. We have to get out of it. So that's how we can make our life work. So this entire Ishopanishad is giving us the opportunity to know, to act, and make our life perfect. So this is the overview of today's. It is a part of introduction, and some part we have covered from the invocation also. We have not started the invocation mantra, but we have covered some part of the invocation mantra. So I end here. Any question we can take, or we can close it. Question is there? Okay. So next class, please give me up to the time of 7 p.m. Okay. I will, if you are ready to have up to 7 p.m., then I will not take class for. Okay, I will take the class so that you are assured that I will complete 7 p.m. So anyway, so if you can allow me from next week up to 7 p.m., it will be helpful. At least for 4 Sunday. Yeah. Or if you are ready, I can start little further also. From 3:30 p.m. is also okay. 3:30 to 6:30 is also okay. If you are okay. 3:30. So you internally discuss, and Shalini Mataji or Rajiv Prabhu can inform anybody. You can internally discuss and let me know Sunday from which time is most suitable, comfortably. You can peacefully take the class. I will complete it very okay. Still, I was wanted to show something, but don't know where it has gone, whether I have missed it or I have actually not completed that part. Thought that was the end. So just give me 1-2 minutes. I will complete it. Just by thinking that there are something I just missed out from the introduction. Where it has gone. It's there. So after this validation, we just show the little bit of the Vedic structure. So Shruti and Smriti, these are the two things. Already we discussed actually. I just firstly will show. Shruti is called as a mother and Smriti is a sister. Okay, mother, sister, elderly sister always guides his another younger brother or a baby, and another baby very as in line with his mother, with her mother. So these are the 4 Vedas: Rig, Sham, Juju, and Atharva. Rig Veda is the foundation of prayers and hymns. Sham Veda is melodies of musical renditions. Juju Veda is procedural rules, rituals, and Atharva Veda is supplementary knowledge and architecture. Okay, so this is Atharva Veda. This in Atharva Veda part is the Ayurveda is part of Atharva Veda. Originally, there was only one Veda, grasped instantly by highly intelligent beings with single hearing, anticipating the short lives, poor memory of the Kali Yuga, Prayana Alpa Ayusha, Kalo Ushmin Yugejana. So Vyasdeva committed this knowledge to writing. So each and every Veda is divided into 4 sections. One is Sanghita. Sanghita is a collection of all mantras and hymns. Okay. Second is the Aranya. Second is the Brahmanas. Brahman is a Karmakanda section containing the rules for complex rituals designed for the household. And then is the Aranyak. Aranyak is the meditation and the regulation intended for this. Those returning to the forest, Vanaprastha, Aranyak. Okay. And then finally the Upanishads, the Jnanakanda section, the philosophical essence of the Veda, shifting focus away from ritualistic elevation towards spiritual realization and action. This is from action to realization. First Sanghita, then Brahmanas. These are the common section of all the Vedas. Okay. So Upanishad, the Ishopanishad is saying Ishopanishad is part of Yajurveda. Okay. There are 4 Veda. Rig Veda also has Rig Sanghita, Rig Brahmana, Rig Aranya, Rig Upanishad. Similarly, Yajurveda is also having this thing. Inside the Yajurveda, there is Upanishad. There are many among many Upanishads, this Ishopanishad is come. So there are 108 Upanishads. Among that, the 10 are principal. Among 10, the Ishopanishad is the most principal. Okay. So, and this 108 Upanishad name is available in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Bhakti Chandra Shastri Thakur has given the 108. And 10 Upanishads, the principal 10 Upanishads, fortunately today, thanks to His Grace, His Holiness Bhanushbhai Maharaj, we are having now Bhakti Vedanta purport. Bhakti Vedanta with Bhakti Vedanta purport. Bhakti Vedanta means not Bhakti Vedanta, like Gauriya Vaishnava purport. Gauriya Vaishnava purports are available. Bhakti Vedanta purport is only available with Isha Upanishad. For other, these things are there. Upanishads are available. So this is the why section. Why some rituals are happening based on that. So the actually the yoga is performance of yoga is happening as per the karma kanda. But why the yoga they don't know. The Jaggi Brahmana did not know. They were doing the yoga, and the Gopabalas were asking some offering for Krishna. They were not understanding. They were not ready to give, but their wives were able to give. So that is the unfortunate situation when we go only into the ritual. That's why the here Jnana section is shifting from the ritualistic elevation to the spiritual reality. So this is about Shruti part, and Smriti is the knowledge of the masses. So Vyasdeva compiled supplemental literature specifically for Sri, Rudra, and Dijabandhus. For Kali Yuga, everyone is Dijabandhus, everyone is falling under this. We cannot, I have heard, to understand Vedic Sanskrit, one need to study Vedic Sanskrit for 12 years. To only to read the Vedic literature, the core Vedic literature. It is so difficult. And it is intentionally made so difficult so that it cannot be distorted very easily. Okay, that is the reason. That's why for reading those kind of Sanskrit is very difficult for normal woman and normal people. Only very elevated Brahmanas. That's why this Brahminical initiation is given for studying those things. This Gayatri mantra is given for that on to make a qualified Brahman who will be first of all truthful, will not completely free from this reprolipsha part. Otherwise, there will be distortion. So those things are there. So itihasas are that histories. Itihasa means that is the itihasa means not putting that don't make this history word with itihasa. It is completely different. Yesterday online I came to know. Actually, yesterday there was a class happening. So I came to know the history. We normally say it is a synonymous of itihasa, but itihasa has a particular Vedic definition. The definition is this: the definition echoes this particular explanation that it is from some like Ramayana. Some Ramayana, we by hearing Ashoka win something, there is a Panipat Yuddha. What we understand? Is there any elevation is happening? Anything we are understanding? No, nothing. But from the story of Ramayana and Mahabharata, we understand many things. Okay, we can take this the philosophy, profound philosophy is there. Various moral instructions are there. Spiritual elevation, spiritual enlightenment happens from this itihas. That is called itihas, not so-called itihas, not so normal mundane itihas. It's a very elevated thing. So that is the Ramayana and Mahabharata is only considered as a itihas, not normal itihas. That is called Ghadanavritti. This is called Ghatana Vritti. History actually means some description of some events, chronological history. That is required. So 18 major historical texts are that. This Puranas is also called historical things, but this is Puran. Purana has other 10 lakshana to categorize as a Purana. So there are many things actually there. So I'm not going to the detail. Main thing is among these 18 Purana, Bhagavad Purana is the most important, which gives us a very enlightened knowledge for spiritual elevation. So there are Shada Darshans are also part of Vedic school. Okay. So Nyaya Darshan, Vaisheshika Darshan, Shankha Darshan, Yoga Darshan, Karma Mimamsha, and Vedanta. And Vedanta, the Brahma Mimamsha. That is actually the Bhagavatam. So this is an elevation of logic. Okay. From logic, that's why the Nyaya Shastra is important. So Vaisheshika is the atomic theory. The Kanada is given. Shankha is the analytical thing. This Shankha is actually, this Kapila is not Devavati Putra Kapila. There is another atheistic Kapila. He has given Shankha, discarding the Supreme Lord's presence. Okay. And this Karma Mimamsha is there, and then Vedanta. I just forgotten to show this part. Vedanta Sutra, we already discussed. The Vedanta Sutra is the Brahma Sutra, and the Bhagavatam is the explanation of this Brahma Sutra. Ishta Upanishad is placed in the Yajurveda Upanishad as a part of Shruti Shastra. So this signifies how we can come closer to Supreme Lord. So the final aim is Vedashta Sharpi Rahamabhita, which everybody, all of you have already told in the starting of the class. That final goal is to know Krishna. So this is where we end our class. Sorry for little here and there, because I was searching for that. Anyway, thank you so much. Hare Krishna. So thank you for your patience. We will end the
Hare
class
Krishna.
now. Thank you so much. Chatura Mataji, you have raised hand.
প্রভুজি ক্ষমা করবেন, প্রথমে তো দেরি করে এসেছি।
হ্যাঁ,
আর
ঠিক আছে।
প্রভু বলছি যে দ্বিজবন্ধু কথাটা বললেন, দ্বিজবন্ধু মানেটা বুঝতে পারিনি।
Dijabandhu is born in Brahman family, but is not having the Brahmanical quality. ব্রাহ্মণ পরিবারে জন্মগ্রহণ করেছে, কিন্তু ব্রাহ্মণোচিত গুণাবলী নেই। যেরকম দ্রোণাচার্যের পুত্র অশ্বত্থামা, অশ্বত্থামার ব্রাহ্মণিক্যাল কোয়ালিটি ছিল না। যদিও ব্রাহ্মণের পুত্র, কিন্তু ব্রাহ্মণোচিত কোয়ালিটি ছিল না। সেই জন্য মূর্খের মতন দ্রৌপদীর 5 ঘুমন্ত শিশু সন্তানকে হত্যা করে।
আচ্ছা,
তো তাকে বলা হচ্ছে দ্বিজবন্ধু। ইভেন মানে দ্বিজবন্ধু বা ক্ষাত্রবন্ধু বলাতে পারে। ক্ষত্রিয় হয়েও একজন প্রকৃত ক্ষত্রিয়। দুর্যোধন বলছে প্রকৃত ক্ষত্রিয়। দুর্যোধনও অবাক হয়ে গেছে যে তুমি এটা কি মূর্খের মতন কাজ করেছো। কারণ দুর্যোধন was a proper ক্ষত্রিয় in one sense. In many sense, Duryodhana was a proper ক্ষত্রিয়. He was little misguided. He was misguided by Karna actually. So otherwise, Duryodhana was actually good in many sense. He has some good quality. So, but Karna and Shokuni was there to misguide. So anyway, so the point is, someone is born in that family but not having the quality. সেই পরিবারে জন্মগ্রহণ করেছে, যেরকম কলিযুগে আজকে ব্রাহ্মণের পরিবারে জন্মগ্রহণ করছে, কিন্তু ব্রাহ্মণোচিত কোনো গুণাবলী তাদের মধ্যে দেখা যায় না। So they are called দ্বিজ। Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
হরে কৃষ্ণ।